This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It's that time again. High school basketball is back on the Oklahoma Sports Network. A little bit of a delayed start tonight, but we're in no rush. Where do we got to be? It's a Friday night in February. High school basketball season is winding down. The postseason is around the corner. The games are getting more intense, more important as the postseason looms just on the horizon. Josh Calloway with you on a Friday night from the Castle, as they call it. Here in Newcastle, Oklahoma, it's the Newcastle Racers and the Cash Bulldogs. A 4A doubleheader for you on a Friday night here on OSN. A couple of teams, both on the girls' and boys' side, that are doing some good things. There's been some very bright spots, some tough spots in their seasons, but both are trying to button things up and play their best basketball at the right time with the postseason set to start at the 4A level next week. And both these teams know their postseason assignments. We'll get into that throughout the evening, but some fun matchups set for you tonight, both on the girls and boys side. We'll have the girls game here coming up first in just a few minutes. It is senior night here at the Castle, which is what caused a little bit of a delay. Had senior, festivities, things like that, which pushed things back a little bit. But like I said, we're in no rush. We're ready to go. We're fired up. We're just a few minutes away from opening tip in our first game, which will be the Cash Lady Bulldogs, the Newcastle Lady Racers, going toe-to-toe, an all OSN affair. OSN schools on both sides. Cash, Newcastle. We're glad you found us on a Friday night here in Newcastle, Oklahoma. One of my favorite gyms to come to. Of course, anybody who tunes in Newcastle football knows I do the football during the regular season. Love to come out here for basketball as well. This is a community, a fan base that really likes their basketball out here. It's always great crowds every time I come here. Same situation again tonight. Should be a great atmosphere. Two teams that are not unfamiliar with each other by any means, play each other every year. And so excited to see these matchups on both the girls and boys side of things tonight right here on OSN. So we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We'll have the starting lineups for you, and then we'll have the basketball. Cash Lady Bulldogs, Newcastle Lady Racers, the first of our double dip tonight, Friday night basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have lineups, tip, hoops on the other side of this break right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community. and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
All right, back here at the Castle, just getting ready to get this one going. Josh Calloway on hand in Newcastle, Oklahoma. Uriah Martinez working the camera for us tonight. Shout out to him coming and helping us out on a Friday night. Starting lineups first for the Cash Lady Bulldogs of the visiting team, obviously here at the Castle. Number 2 is Izzy Glenn. Number 4, Layla Copeland. Number 11, Emma Muldowney. Number 21 is Ayanna Mason. And then rounding out number 30 is Aaliyah Young. The Cash Lady Bulldogs coming to play tonight at 7-13 on the season, coached by Rochelle Crowley. And it's a Cash team that's had some nice moments this season. They've done some good things. Had some nice wins, but obviously below 500. But the beauty of it is once you get to the postseason, it all kind of resets anyway. You just hope to be playing your best ball at the right time. And this Cash team is coming off a big emotional win on Tuesday night. They beat Ardmore in overtime just a few nights ago. So they're coming in with a little bit of momentum, a little bit of an edge tonight here on the road. As for the hometown team, the Newcastle Lady Racers, starting it off number 0 is Leah Bradley, one of the seniors making her final regular season game here. They'll be at home next week in the playoffs. Again, we'll get into that a little more as the night goes on. But on their senior night, number 14 is McKenna Woodworth, another one of the seniors. Number 30 is Candela Valverde. Number 35 is Jaden Lassen. And then rounding out number 3 is Jordan McFarland. The Racers coming to play tonight at 10-12 and are coached by Nicole Copeland. These two teams have very different schedules with the way it kind of looks moving forward. This is the regular season finale for Newcastle, both girls and boys tonight. Cash, that's not the case. They're back at it next Tuesday. So this is not the final tune-up for the postseason for Cash necessarily, but it is for both Newcastle teams. So we'll see if there's maybe a little more of an emphasis on trying to finish things on a high note. You have a week layoff before the playoffs start next Friday with district play. Obviously, very different postseason format, the way it's set up in 4A and below as opposed to 5A, 6A. If you've been with us for a lot of 5A, 6A broadcasts this season, there's pretty hefty differences. And that's why their postseason gets going a little bit earlier in 4A because there's that extra round. And so we'll talk about that more and more as the night goes on here in the Oklahoma Sports Network. Cash, like I said, the road team, they're in the red unis with the white cash and numbers on the chest and back. Newcastle in the home whites with the blue racers and numbers. Glad to be with us on a Friday night. First of 2 of the boys' game to follow. Hoping for a couple of good ones here on a Friday night on the Oklahoma Sports Network. A double OSN matchup, always fun for us. And we're glad you'll be with us tonight. Both the Newcastle and Cash channels hopefully tuned in and kick back. Have a good Friday night on OSN. Opening tip won by the Bulldogs. They're going right to left from our vantage point here up above the court. at the Castle, Newcastle High School. As we get it going, first possession for the Bulldogs on the wing. This is Mason. Gives up to the top to Glenn. Right wing surveying the floor is Copeland. Turnaround shot here just on the side of the painted area. Didn't go in. I think that was Young on the shot. Didn't go. Rebound goes out of bounds, and it will go over to the Racers. It's a pretty good bounce-back year for Newcastle, too. This girls' basketball program obviously went for a stretch of one of the more consistently competitive ones in 4A for a while. Went through a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a rebuild. Now they're back here this year, hovering around 500. Still a heck of a bounce back and playing good basketball as of late and hoping to finish off their regular season, like I said, going into the postseason next week on a high note. 3-ball at the top of the key here, rims out. That was halfway down. Offensive rebound, though. Kick out long 2 won't go for Ellis. And the empty possession for the Racers goes back over to Cash to the direction. So some of those starters that were announced for Newcastle didn't actually end up being in the lineup. Those seniors, Valverde and Lassen, both subbed out, so we'll have to clean that up. 3-ball on the wing here. Side of the rim, no good for Bradley. Rebound loose and picked up by the Bulldogs. Looking for our first points. Down the lane here for Cash to the direction. Left-hand shot for Muldowney won't go. Rebound was pulled in by Young, and we have whistles and a foul here going to go against Newcastle. First foul of the day. It's the first personal on Ava Snyder, number 33. 6:46 to play in the first. Up and down start. Shot's not falling so far, but we're still real early. Turnaround shot in the lane here for Young doesn't go, but she's hit and fouled. And a trip to the free throw line coming up for the Bulldogs. They try to get on the board first here tonight on the road. Mentioned Cash, that big win in overtime over Ardmore on Tuesday night. The Racers, meanwhile, kind of the other end of the spectrum, an emotional loss to Blanchard on Tuesday here, 37-33. So a lower scoring competitive game that they couldn't quite pull out against obviously a big rival in Blanchard. So how do they bounce back? Opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of emotional win, emotional loss. These two teams coming off the Tuesday game. Both free throws were good for Young. And so Cash on the board first, 2-0. It's looking for our first field goal in the very early going. Just about 90 seconds in. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay at this end. Postseason starts next week in 4A district play. These two teams have their district assignments already. And it's going to be fun to keep an eye on and watch as we move into the postseason. The road to the big house getting going in full next week. Really, it's the whole way at the regular season, but in full next week. Turnaround 3 for Bradley won't go. Long rebound comes out and is saved by Young. Aaliyah Young kind of everywhere so far for Cash in this one. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Bulldogs. They had the ball back. Young on the block, trying to get some separation for defender. Can't. Kick out in the corner to Copeland, and they'll give it back out to Mason, and the Bulldogs will kind of reset some things. Some direction being shouted by Coach Copeland for Newcastle, not to be confused with Layla Copeland on the floor for Cash. Right wing thought about it, did Muldowney. Instead, she'll give it up underneath to Young. Turnaround shot for Young, rims out. Pretty good contest there by the Racers. Briley Scott, number 20. Another stop for Newcastle, playing some good defense. But can they get it going on this end offensively? Left side, this is Ellis with it. Puts on the floor. Bounce pass to Bradley, who's had a couple of good looks. Couldn't quite hit just yet. McFarland with it. Round the horn to the corner. Ellis once more. Bradley again. Right side, McFarland. Racers trying to figure out how they want to get some separation, and just not happening right now against this Cash defense. But no shot clock in high school hoops. You can take your time, figure things out. Moving on, close to 3 minutes in here. Open look, McFarland for 3. Side of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by who else? Aaliyah Young. The 6'1 senior has been a menace in these first few minutes. Kind of doing a little bit of everything. And she gets a nice board there to set Cash up offensively back on the other side. Open look, they just kind of lost Muldowney here for 3. Clackums. Emma Muldowney, a little bit of miscommunication defensively. All of a sudden, she just looked up and had several feet of space. She said, I'm going to fire this thing, and she knocked it right down. So Cash has got themselves a 5-0 lead. First field goal of this game goes down for the Bulldogs there. Ellis, meanwhile, left-hand long pass, open 3. And a Clackam's right back for Emerson Marble just into the game, number 22. And she rips a 3 ball, so the team's trade threes. And it's back to a 2-point game, 4:15 to go in the first. Young in the paint. That's a travel. Moved the feet a little too much. See what? She's doing, obviously, like we've already sang the praises of Young in the first half quarter here, but Briley Scott, number 20 for Newcastle, is doing a pretty good job, all things considered, making it tough on her down there. She hasn't actually hit a shot yet. Got to the line, hit her free throws, making her, presence felt on the glass. But Scott, for the most part, doing a pretty good job. Here's Marble back to the other side. We at the midway point of the opening quarter. 5-3 lead for Cash. Bradley, guarded by Muldowney. Left-hand pass to Marble. Hit that three just a short while ago. Snyder, right side. Bradley going to fire another one. Front of the rim, no good. Boy, from our vantage point, that looked right on line, but just a little bit short. Rebound pulled down by the Bulldogs. They got it going back to the way up two. Young, spin around move, right-hand shot, nice. Puts it down. That was really pretty stuff. Good footwork by Aaliyah Young. So right as I was saying that Scott did a good job on her, good separation there, and hit the shot. Meanwhile, right back to the other side, another three for the Racers. That's Ava Snyder with that rainbow ball. Came down, almost touched a light, and came right down through. Nothing but net. 2 3 balls for the Racers. Have them back within one. Down 7-6. Young, great pass underneath. But she boots the layup attempt there. That was Izzy Glenn, who was all alone and just missed it. That would have been a great assist for Young. Meanwhile, the other way, Racers had a chance to take the lead, but a pocket picking by Copeland leads to a fast break. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul here against Newcastle that will send Layla Copeland to the line to try and add on to the Bulldogs' lead. 2:54 to go in the first. That's the second personal foul early on Ava Snyder, so certainly something worth keeping an eye on there. Third team foul on the Racers. First free throw, no good. Feel like we probably, at this point in the season, if you've been around, you don't really need the reminder, but just in case, I suppose. A reminder that the fouls are different this year in high school hoops. They went to more of an NBA model. 5 in each quarter get you to the bonus. It resets every quarter. There is no single bonus. It's just bonus. You get 2 free throws after 5. That's 3 on Newcastle here in the first quarter. Meanwhile, another 3 ball for Bradley. Won't go, but got her own miss. She'll pull from the free throw line now. Yes. That was nice. Follow your shot. They tell you that at the lowest of levels. She did just that. Got her own miss. Open look from the free throw line and hit. And even though Cash kind of got running a little bit early, Newcastle has rallied. They tied up 8 apiece. 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Young pulls up, little mid-range jumper, won't go. Rebound pulled in by McFarland, and the Racers have a chance to get their first lead of the night down here at this end. Lost the dribble for a moment, but got it back. Hands off to Ellis, and Ellis being guarded a little too closely by Muldowney. I thought it was a foul, but now they're saying that maybe Cash snuck a timeout in? No, it's a foul. Okay. I think the public address got a little tricked on that as well, but the signal was a little confusing. Was a foul on Muldowney. They're her first, team first. Of course, just on the floor, so Racers just keep the possession. Meanwhile, 3 ball for McFarland won't go. Another nice rebound for Aaliyah Young, putting her on double-double watch early. She is dominating the glass right now. And the Bulldogs have it back, tied up at 8 apiece. Nice ball movement underneath Young. Pass deflected, got it right back. Goes right by her defender, left hand to the rim and finish. Aaliyah Young is stuffing the stat sheet in this first quarter, just piling it up in all areas. Nice passes, certainly getting it done in the paint right now on the scoreboard, and well documented what she's done on the rebounding end of things as well. And Cash is back ahead by a deuce, 10-8 with 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. McFarland pump fake the 3 and drive. Bounce pass was deflected. There's a whistle here. I think it's going to go on the Bulldogs. Not sure. And it's on Muldowney, so that's unfortunate for Cash. They've only committed 2 team fouls, but they're both on the same player in Emma Muldowney, a senior starter. And so she'll have to come out. Mason back in to replace her. Bounce pass. Nice find to Bradley. Turnaround shot is good. McFarland found her. Bradley turned around, kept some good body control there. Little kiss off the glass. Shout out Bill Raftery. And we're tied up 10 apiece. 1:10 to play in the first quarter. Very entertaining first quarter in this one. Mason lost it, but able to get it out. Left-hand 3 ball won't go for Cash's Gracie Webster. But the rebound and stick back is there for Layla Copeland. And Cash is back in the lead by 2. 50 seconds to go in the first. McFarland trying to shake her defender. These possessions for Newcastle have looked a little bit better, certainly over the last few minutes. And as I say, that bad pass here. And now we got a tie-up as Ellis and Copeland kind of fall over each other. And they're going to say it's a tie-up, and the arrow keeps it with the home team. So, fortunate sequence there for Newcastle. 38.6 seconds. They have the ball back. Good rundown save there by Scott back in the game, and that's going to be a travel. As lost their footing a little bit, little shuffling, little stumble, and a turnover. Cash gets it back up by 2, 33 seconds to play in the first. Walking this up, this is Webster with it. She gives it over the left side to Mason. To the top, Glenn. Back to Webster. Thought about it there, did Copeland. Instead, she'll survey and give it up to Mason. 15 seconds to play in the quarter. Underneath to Young, who has been everywhere in this first quarter. Oh, what an up and under move. Couldn't finish it, though. She did all the hard work, but couldn't finish it off. 6 seconds here for Newcastle to work with. McFarland down the floor, all the way to the rim. Contact and a foul on the Bulldogs with 2.1 to play in the first. That's not the worst foul in the world because with 2.1 seconds, they're not in the bonus yet, so they now have to kind of reset some things up rather than getting what looked to be a possible layup attempt. Inbound, nice feed back to Bradley. This will count. Clackham's at the buzzer. And right at the end of the first quarter buzzer, the Racers get their first lead. What a way to close out that quarter. And after one, it's Newcastle 13, Cash 12. Very entertaining start. We'll take a timeout, be back for the second after this break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
All right, back at the Castle. Josh Calloway with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. A very entertaining first quarter. Cash seemed to have kind of the control of it for most of it, but Newcastle found their footing a bit offensively toward the second half of that opening frame, and then Leah Bradley, off a great little give and go on the inbound, hits the open three, puts Newcastle in the lead for the first time. Only had 2.1 seconds to work with. Credit to Coach Nicole Copeland drawing that up. That was pretty. I mean, to get that clean of a look with only 2 seconds to work with, really nicely done. Bradley hit it, and Newcastle's got their first lead. Cash has the ball as you open up the second quarter. Josh Calloway with you on a Friday night. Uriah Martinez working the camera. We're glad you are with us on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Bad pass here goes off the fingertips of Young and is stolen by Marble, who kind of got the whole thing going for Newcastle from this very spot. That one left short. Ball will go out of bounds. And whose ball is it? Tough to tell. They're going to say it stays with the home team. Felt like early on there was a bit of a lid on the rim for Newcastle. Then all of a sudden, Marble hit that three, and it just kind of seemed to loosen everything up a bit. Since then, Racers have hit several shots from deep, trying to do it again with Bradley, and she's fouled. Yep. You kind of felt that one coming. Missed the three, but too hard of a closeout by Gracie Webster. Just kind of hip-checked her. This is going to be 3 free throws for the senior Leah Bradley to try and add on to Newcastle's first lead. First foul on Webster. And 3 foul shots coming for Bradley. First one is up and good. Make sure we let you know that we're not the only game on OSN tonight. We also got Midwest City and MacArthur in action tonight as well. That's also an all OSN matchup. So we got a little bit of a twofer going on right now. If you want to get that second screen out, wouldn't mind it. Third free throw no good as Ellis, though, had a shot to save it. Goes out of bounds, last touch by the Racers, so Cash will get it back. 7:23 to play until halftime. Back to the way, Mason goes down the lane, right-hand shot. Didn't go, but there's whistles And a foul might be before the shot. It looks like it is. They're not going to give her free throws on this one. First foul on Bradley. Cash will just keep the possession. Glenn will do the inbounding from underneath the hoop. Bounce pass to Copeland. Copeland trying to drive on her defender. It's just Jaden Lassen, one of the seniors, was really hounding her there. Had to give it up. Glenn with it back underneath. Young on the elbow. Feeds it off to Copeland. Copeland going to her left. Underneath Young. Young kick out wide open. Great find. 3 ball for Glenn. Won't go off the back iron. And an unfortunate foul here as Copeland, trying to pull in that offensive rebound, just ran in to the Racer player there. And it's her second foul now on Glenn. And the second team foul. 6:50 to play until halftime. 15-12 Newcastle, who certainly seem like they have the momentum right now on their home floor. Marble. Right side, Bradley. She's going to fire. She likes this spot, and that's why. Clackamas Leah Bradley is heating up. It's a 6-point lead for Newcastle, and Coach Crowley wants to talk about it. A timeout taken by Cash as the Racers are on an 8-0 run with Leah Bradley hitting some really big-time threes. She's kind of the thing that makes this whole thing go for Newcastle offensively especially. A little bit of a slow start for her, but she's heating up right now, and Newcastle's got themselves a 6-point lead here on their home floor on this senior night. Just a 30-second timeout, so we'll stick here. Going to get back to it in just a moment. Want to make sure we implore you to keep up with the Oklahoma Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter, of course, the app and the website. You can see right there, oksportsnet.com. Great way to make sure you know when we're broadcasting, what we're broadcasting. Got lots of big things coming up with the postseason around the corner. Also have our football award show coming up in just a couple of weeks as well. That was a fun time last year. Have that coming up again later on this month. And obviously, early part of March, state championship games, things like that. So we got some fun stuff coming up over the next month or so. Great time of year with that basketball postseason just around the corner. Almost a turnover. It'll stay at this end with Cash. So where do they go for offense? Coach Rochelle Crowley and the Bulldogs, with early on, it was just kind of feed young, feed young, feed young. She's gotten a little bit out of sync, if you want to call it that, last 4 or 5 minutes, and the offense has dried up. Where do they go? They need buckets to try and quell some of this Racer momentum right now. Young on the wing. Lassen giving her space, saying, if you want to fire from up there, go for it. Much rather you do that than try to drive on me, get in the paint where you really like it. Cash resetting things. This is Webster. 5:50 to play until halftime. 6-point lead for Newcastle, the biggest lead either team has enjoyed in this first half. Young turnaround shot. Can't quite get the roll. Another good contest by the Racers. Looked like Ellis and Lassen were both in on that. And Newcastle has it back up by 6. McFarland trying to shake her defender. Will do so to Bradley. Bradley gives up to Marble. Marble back to Bradley. This is her spot. This time she puts on the floor, though. Blows right by her defender. Nice feed over to Lassen, who looked like she maybe wasn't totally ready for it. Bradley with some nice moves. Maybe a little too unselfish on that one. She had a path, apparently or evidently, maybe, to the rim, but gave it up. Lassen not totally ready for it. Lost the pass. Meanwhile, Cash back the other way, driving down the baseline. A left-hand shot up and good for Copeland. So that breaks up a dry spell, I guess is a fair way to put it, for Cash in this second quarter. That's their first points of the second with 4:52 and counting to play until halftime. 18-12. Marble to the top to McFarland. Gives it back to her. Round the horn to Bradley. Takes a double team, gives it up. Right side, Marble once more. Underneath, Lassen. Good ball movement. Oh, it was the right idea. The way they moved it, the defense had kind of moved away from Marble. She had some separation there. If that pass could have been on the money to maybe get a little catch-and-shoot action, but pass too tall, went into the Cash bench instead, and it's a turnover. Back in for Cash. In fact, for the first time, I should say, number 12 is Kylie Toddy, 5'5" junior, getting her first action. She replaces Copeland. Meanwhile, Mason's going to fire. Got it. That was nice. A pull-up long 2 for Mason is good. A little 4-0 jolt for Cash, and with 4:17 to play until halftime, Newcastle now wants a timeout to talk things over. Another 30-second, so we'll stay here. This has been an entertaining game. First quarter and a half, you've seen some classic basketball runs in the first 12 minutes or so. It's felt like both teams have controlled it for extended stretches, but the other team has responded in every case. Now, this game started Cash flying early. Newcastle seemed to settle in. It looked like they were kind of, I don't want to say running away, only up by 6, but things were falling into place for them. But now Cash, a couple nice possessions in a row, only down 2 as we near the midway point of the second quarter. So Racers have it back, up by 2. Crossing half court is Jordan McFarland. She'll give it underneath. Pass deflected, pulled in. Now kick out to Bradley, who's hit a couple of really big threes in this first half, including that great buzzer beater to end the first quarter. Oh, miscommunication here. That pass just went to nobody. Deflected and stolen as we cross the midway point of the second quarter. Cash can tie or take the lead. Mason off a screen set by Young. Boy, she's got some burst. She can really move. Underneath Young, spin move in the lane. This is where she's been so good, and she was good again. 6-0 run by the Bulldogs. We're tied back up 18-all, 3:38 to play in the second quarter. Brad to the top, McFarland, round the horn to Marble. Gives it back to McFarland. Pass deflected. Trying to get underneath there. Looked like to Scott, but skying for it, deflecting it, and then catching it was Gracie Webster. Cash has it back. They can take the lead. Riding a 6-0 run right now. How quickly the momentum can shift. Open look for Glenn for 3. Back iron, no. Rebound out and pulled in by McFarland. Well done there to box out her defender. Underneath to Ellis. Now Newcastle all of a sudden a little bit of a dry spell offensively. Where do they go when they need a bucket? Team that is loaded with shooters. This is one of them. Bradley for 3. Back iron, no. Was right on line, but just a tad off. And that's all it takes. 2:45 to go in the quarter. Still tied 18-all. Mason gives it up to Glenn. Glenn off a screen set by Young. Underneath. Young to the rim. Yep, that's easy money. 8-0 run for the Bulldogs. Aaliyah Young has gotten back in this thing offensively, and Cash is back ahead by a deuce. Very topsy-turvy first half. Here's Marble. McFarland. Scott on the elbow. Hand off Bradley. Marble's going to go ahead and fire away. That 3 was blocked, but now a late foul going to go on Mason. That's tough. It had to have been on the closeout. But she blocked the shot. That's tough. That's a tough one on Mason. She got out there and she blocked that 3 on Marble. But maybe got a little bit of the hand. Hard to tell from up here. So Marble shoots 3 free throws. First one's up and good. Can put Newcastle back in the lead. She can make all of them. 2:07 to play until halftime. Second one up and good. We hope you stick with us. Certainly for our second game later on the boys' side of things. Few teams in the state of Oklahoma playing as well as Newcastle boys are right now. Red hot. We'll talk about that more when we get there, but that's going to be a fun team. A team that's dangerous. They're kind of toward the bottom of the top 20 right now in 4A, which is nothing to scoff at even being in the top 20, but they're kind of just lurking there. They beat some teams that are ranked higher than them. That's going to be a fun game, but I'm excited to see that team. 2 minutes of play until halftime. Racers are back ahead by 1. And we have a whistle and a foul. Second one on the Racers, just on the floor. It's the first one charged to Briley Scott. Cash keeps the possession. I was getting close to a 5-second. Webster for 3, hit the top of the backboard, but who else? Young gets the rebound. Nice feed to Webster, who can't finish it. Well, that's the second time that a great feed from Young to a cutting teammate just wasn't paid off. And the Racers have it back, still up by 1. Handing the ball there with Snyder. She gives over to Bradley. Leah Bradley calling out some direction. 90 seconds to play in the quarter. Left side to McFarland. Underneath to Ellis. Back out to her. Long pass to Snyder. Snyder bounce pass underneath. Ball not touching the floor hardly right now. Bradley has it once more. 1:15 to go in the quarter. Still setting things up. Snyder underneath. Driving down under the basket. Bounce pass out. McFarland for three. Front of the rim, no good. Trying to get the offensive rebound. Can't quite run it down. Was Scott. Had a look at it. But the Bulldogs get it back. Final minute of the half. Mason racing down the floor for Cash. Feeds it over to, this is Sarah Robinson, number 1, just into the game for the first time. Sophomore. And we have whistle. That's a travel. Young got double team there. Kind of shuffled the feet. That's all it takes. A travel. And a turnover by Cash. Gives it back over the Racers with 47 seconds and counting here to play until the break. Three is blocked in the corner. Young closed out there on Snyder. Got a fingertip on her shot. Results in an empty trip, and Newcastle is trying to hang on to their lead here by just 1. Bulldogs have it back. That's going to be an offensive foul. So all of a sudden we've got a little turnover happy here from these two teams the last minute and a half or so. First foul called on Robinson. That's the 14th foul on Cash, by the way. So it's only 27 seconds to play in the quarter, but Newcastle is in the bonus now. Keep that in mind on this possession. Underneath on the free throw line. Good ball movement to McFarland. Round the horn. Bradley, 3 at the top. Back iron, no. Long rebound comes out. Saved by Ellis. Gets him a second chance. They still got 12 seconds. Plenty of time to set something up. Bradley in the corner. McFarland. 7 seconds. Bounce pass to Scott. She's trapped. Nowhere to go. Try to get over to Ellis. She does. Turnaround shot here. Didn't go, but she's hit and fouled with 1.1 seconds to play in the quarter. Ellis will go to the line and shoot 2. That's a rough way to end this half potentially for Cash. With just 1 second on the clock. You played such good defense in that possession. Got to pay it off at the line, though, as Ellis misses the first one. So barring something crazy, Newcastle will take a lead in halftime, but it won't be a big one. As Ellis misses them both, rebound is pulled in. Have to do a full court shot. No chance from that far corner. That would have been an all-timer to make something happen from there. That's going to end the first half. A very entertaining first 16 minutes. They had momentum swing, everything you want, really. I mean, momentum swings, big three-point shots, some great footwork and plays in the painted area, some defense on block shots. A lot to like in that first half. And after 16 minutes, the separation is minimal, with Newcastle hanging on to just a 1-point lead, 21-20. All right, we'll take a timeout here. I'll step aside for a few minutes. We'll be back for the second half very, very shortly. It was an entertaining first 16 minutes. Why would you go anywhere? We got a great second half coming up for you. Newcastle leads Cash after 2, 21-20 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Yeah, you got it. Let's go. Travis! What business do you want to start?
I want to start a car mechanic shop.
Let's say we go to Scissor Tip.
Ready to go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's go.
You got it.
I think she was from
One,
Rose State.
2, 3.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations, Rose State college graduates.
It's no secret that life is busy and you have a million things on your to-do list. Here at Community Bank of Oklahoma, we've made banking simple again. We can help you get to the important things in life, like the big game tonight.
We do all the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
Race towards us at Community Bank of Oklahoma, because we wouldn't be a community without you.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, back at the Castle. Josh Calloway with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Uriah Martinez working the camera for us tonight. Get ready to start this second half. Very entertaining first half. Newcastle leads it 21-20. Game that had its runs both ways. If you just tuned in, Cash jumped out to a great lead to start. Newcastle settled in. They built out a little 6-point lead. Felt like they had assumed control. Then Cash went back with an 8-0 run. And then right before the half, on a 3-point foul that resulted in 3 free throws, the Racers retook the lead before the break. And now we're about ready to get the second half started with a 21-20 Newcastle lead. Racers will start with the basketball on their home floor on this senior night. I mentioned district play starts next week. The Racers will be taking on Harding Fine Arts next Friday here in the district round. Whereas Cash, like we said, their regular season isn't over. They still have games next week, which is strange that these two teams are in such different wavelengths on the scheduling, but their district assignment is set. They are at home next Saturday, the 17th, against Class and SAS. So that's what they've got coming up. Both these teams will look ahead to that, but the task at hand right now is finding a way to win this game. As a turnaround shot for Young, with a great first half, wouldn't roll home, but then getting a nice rebound and getting fouled was Emma Muldowney. And she'll go to the line and try and put Cash back in the lead. Muldowney, a senior starter for Coach Crowley and the Bulldogs, had her minutes somewhat limited in that first half. Picked up her second foul kind of early, had to sit a lot of that first half, especially obviously in the second quarter. And so back in there, start the second half, immediately gets herself to the line, but missed the first one there. Can still tie it up with this one. And she does just that. So with 7:36 to play in the third, we are all square, 21 apiece on Friday night basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We got a great one here. We're hoping for more of the same in our boys game later. Hopefully you stick around for that. As like I kind of teased before halftime, one of the hottest teams, certainly in 4A, if not Oklahoma, are those Newcastle Racers. Excited to see them here in just a little bit. As a good look at a three in the corner for Jordan McFarland didn't go. Rebound up and over the hoop. So that'll be a out-of-bounds ruling over to Cash, who can get the lead back here with a bucket. 7:10 to go in the quarter. Copeland with it on the wing, guarded by McFarland. She'll go to her right. At the top of the key, survey the floor. Now Mason gives it underneath to Young. Nice feed to the cutting Copeland, and McFarland just kind of fell into her legs. A little bit of a hitch in the giddy-up for Copeland, but says she's fine. Meanwhile, the foul will go on McFarland. That's her second, also the team second. So a couple of quick ones on the Racers here in this third quarter. Glenn does the inbound to Muldowney, who through some contact couldn't finish. Good clean defense. I think that was Briley Scott, number 20, who disrupted that. Got the miss, and Racers get the basketball back. Still tied 21-all, 6:47 to go in the third. Game that's obviously not breaking any news. We're tied up, completely up for grabs right now. These two teams have felt very evenly matched to this point. Who's going to seize it the rest of the way? Pass was deflected, but it ended up being saved. Meanwhile, Scott had her shot blocked again. Kick out, and it will eventually stay with Bradley, who has her legs rolled up on. And it'll be a foul on the Bulldogs. First personal, or first of the quarter, I should say, on Cash. It is the first personal on Glenn also. Boy, the Bulldogs have got their hands on a lot of Racer shots, and most of them not in the painted area either. A lot of jumpers getting blocked and contested. Cash playing some really nice defense in this game, making it hard on Newcastle every time down. Bradley feeds over to McFarland in the corner to Snyder. Gives it back, ends up with Bradley once more. Now again to McFarland. Left side, Snyder. Bounce pass underneath to Ellis, who gets double teamed. Got nowhere to go. Trapped on the baseline here. And a timeout snuck in by Coach Copeland, recognizing that wasn't going anywhere. So 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. We have a timeout on the floor, just a 30-second, so we'll stick here through it. Again, reminder, got another game on our airwaves tonight right now. Midwest City and Lawton MacArthur in another all-OSN affair. That's up at the 5A level. Some teams that we'll be looking forward to seeing, of course, in the postseason coming up very, very soon. Great time of year. As you kind of shift into February, you just kind of get that buzz of the spring and what it means for the postseason in basketball, both at the high school and the college level. Postseason hoops is hard to beat. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to bring you a lot of playoff action. We did last year. We were all over the place. It was a busy 3 weeks. We're excited for more of the same coming up soon. As Bradley's three didn't go at the side of the rim. That was probably a travel that got away with there for Copeland. Bulldogs have it back, still tied up 21-all. Young in the paint, shot won't quite roll home. Rebound pulled in by Muldowney, got blocked by the rim. And another empty trip. So these offenses looking a little clunky to start this third quarter. No field goals yet, just 1 point. Came from Cash at the free throw line. 5.5 to go in the third. McFarland in the corner to Bradley. Top side, Snyder. Figuring out what she wants to do. Rocket pass in the corner to Bradley. Leah Bradley, who been a little more quiet after a explosive end of the first, into the second quarter. That three ball air balls. I think it's going to stay at this end. Nope. Thought that was last. I think Newcastle saying exactly that. A lot of Racer faithful upset. That looked like it went off the hands of the Cash defenders. And they are going to change this to Newcastle ball. Okay, it was originally ruled Cash ball. But after a consultation between the officials, they're changing it to Racer basketball. I think that's the right call from my vantage point up here. McFarland trapped in the baseline, got bumped a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be another foul on the Bulldogs. So you see this so often. It's almost every game in high school basketball. The halves play differently. The first half, neither team got to the bonus in the first half in either quarter. And early on this third quarter, both teams with a couple early fouls, so we're trending that way. Still early, but trending that way. And as I said, there's another one. As Bradley, some good movement, get around her defender. She's bumped and fouled, and with 5:04 to go in the third, Leah Bradley is going to the line to shoot two. Third personal on Emma Muldowney. So I touched on the foul trouble kept her off the floor. A lot of that first half, and it's kind of rearing its ugly head again here in the third as she picks up her third foul. It looks like Coach Crowley is going to keep her in for now and trust the senior. Meanwhile, an 0 for 2 trip at the line for Bradley. That's rare. And the game remains tied at 21. Under 5 minutes now to play in the third. Mason on the wing. Gives it to the top with Webster. Webster trying to shake her defender. Gives it over to Muldowney. Like we said, playing with those three fouls. Underneath to Young. Nice feed looking for Mason. It was the right idea. McFarland did a good job. Really closed a lot of gap. A lot of space there quickly. It looked like Mason had room for an easy lay-in. All of a sudden, McFarland was there breaking it up. That was good anticipation by her to shut that down. Young, that's a travel, yep. It was just another beat from saying she got away with a travel. And then she didn't. She moved the feet a little bit. Yeah, that's a turnover. So these offenses continue to be out of whack here in this third quarter. We're still looking for our first bucket. We've got 4.5 to go in the third. We've only had 1 point this quarter. It came at the line for Cash. So a lot of defense here early in the second half. Bradley in the corner thought about the shot. Instead, she'll put it on the floor. McFarland with it. Dance around that cursive Newcastle here on the floor. On the wing. Back over to Snyder. Thought about it for just a moment. Gives it back up. As we near the midway point of the third. 21-all. I'm not sure if that was deflect or just miscommunication. Right in the hands of Muldowney. Another turnover. Bulldogs have it back, trying to get themselves in the lead. And right on cue, Mason dribbles it off her foot. That's another turnover. Pace has slowed down a bit in this game in the second half. A few more whistles. Defense being a little more aggressive. It's working. I mean, neither team's hit a shot yet, but the foul's also racking up a little bit. And here comes another ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay at this end, though. Mason reaching across to punch that out. Bradley with it, as it so often is for this Racer offense. She's hardly subbed out of the game, if at all. Snyder in the corner to Bradley. Gives it back over to her. Bounce pass to Scott. Feeds over McFarland. Good look at a three on the wing, and it rims off. Boy, from my vantage where I had the perfect line of sight from where I'm standing, it looked like it was right on line, but it came up just short. But the rebound was knocked out of bounds. Actually will stay at this side with the black and blue. So Racers keep it, still tied at 21. Tell you what, if you told Coach Copeland that she wasn't going to score for 5 minutes to open the second half and her 1-point lead would still just be tied, I think she would be okay with that, all things considered. Neither offense has found any kind of a groove in this third. Snyder down the baseline, left-hand shot. That was wild, didn't go. Mason pulled it in. Bulldogs starting the break. Haven't seen a lot of this in this game. It's been a lot of set offense. Mason jump step finish. They're going to give her the bucket? They are. They're counting that. And one for Mason. Went right to the rim, jumped through the defenders, hit, finished it off. And the first field goal of this third quarter comes on an and one opportunity for Ayanna Mason. Finishes it off. So it's a 3-point lead. The foul is on Bradley. That's her second, team third. So both Newcastle and Cash with just one to give each the rest of the way in this third quarter. Keep that in mind. 2:45 to play in the third. McFarland on the wing. Is up to Bradley. She'll take it out near midcourt and reset. Underneath, Scott. Kick out, McFarland. Open look, another three. This one, she's got it. McFarland responds, and boy, Newcastle needed that in a bad way. We're tied back up 24 apiece. Offense had just dried up in this quarter. Got McFarland loose. She knocks it down. Big shot there to tie it back up. Muldowney trying to answer, air ball. And Coach Crowley not happy with that shot selection. Clapping, looking at her senior, saying, hey, you got to be a little smarter than that. That wasn't the best shot in the world. So Newcastle has it back, still tied up 24 all as we near the 2-minute mark to play in the quarter. Scott's shot won't go from the elbow. Rebound comes out, it's pulled in by Izzy Glenn. Cash has it back, still all knotted up at 24. Mason, bounce pass to Webster. Feeds it to Young on the block. This is where a lot of their offenses come from on plays just like that. Young splits the defender, takes it right to the rim, banks it home. Bulldogs back ahead by 2. Bradley to Snyder on the wing. Gives it back. Left side, McFarland. On the floor, Bradley once more. Thought about it. Ooh, nice move to get around Mason. Long 2, won't go though. Rebound pulled in by Muldowney. Cash can try to get themselves a 2-score lead, something they haven't enjoyed in a while. Young, oh, that's a great feed from Mason to Young, who just got lost somehow. Easy lay-in. And with 1:15 to play in the third, Coach Copeland wants to talk about things for the Racers as things are breaking down a little bit right now. This hasn't been the prettiest quarter for Newcastle. So with 1:15 to play in the third, we've got a timeout on the floor. We'll stick here through it as the Bulldogs have a 4-point lead. Like I said, with 75 seconds to play in the third quarter. Well, we thank you so much for tuning in on a Friday night. High school basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network. It's been a great season. We're far from done. We've enjoyed lots of great action so far this year, both the OSN Game of the Week, Middell Hoops. We had the Titan Classic, obviously, a couple of weeks ago. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great season. We have a lot of great action to come, like I said, in the postseason. Makes it that much more important. You follow the page, the Oklahoma Sports Network Facebook page. You follow the Twitter account, X account, whatever you want to call it. And, of course, check the website regularly, oksportsnet.com. Check the app regularly. Event schedules, things like that are always on there. If a broadcast is scheduled, it's there. Also, be sure to make sure you can tune in and watch on the YouTube channel. Very easy place to find the broadcast. My preferred method of watching, to be quite frank. You have the little chat feature there. It's great. It's one of the easiest, most... It's it's very intuitive to watch on the YouTube channel. I'm a big fan of it. The app is great, obviously, also. Facebook page, lots of ways. We got apps on Amazon, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Roku. You got no excuse. There's a million ways to tune in, so do it throughout the rest of this postseason and into the spring sports. Bradley for 3 out of the timeout won't go. Clear the intention there was to get their best player an open look. And it was not a bad one, but just didn't hit it. Final minute of the quarter. Cash up by 4. Biggest lead of the night for the Bulldogs was 6. Trying to match it here. Couldn't quite finish it. Rebound, though, was just loose and saved by McFarland. She ducked down while 2 Bulldogs went flying past her. Racers have the numbers. McFarland long pass to Bradley. Trying to figure out how she wants to attack. Feed off to the rim. Can't finish it there. That was Lassen. So, and a missed chance there for Newcastle. Had the numbers but couldn't finish it off. Final 30 seconds of the third. Mason heels on the Newcastle end. 20 seconds. See if they hold the final shot. Certainly could if you want. Robinson feeds over Mason to Young in the paint. She's been feasting most of this game. This time she'll kick it out to Robinson. 3 won't go. Rachel still got 5 seconds. Can they get a shot? Snyder racing down the floor. She'll pull it from way deep. Ooh, not a bad look at all. Hit off the side of the rim. And that will end the quarter. Newcastle scores just 3 points in that third quarter, but they're only down 4. So anybody's game. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back for the fourth. Cash leads at 28-24 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
All right, back on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Josh Calloway with you on a Friday night. Uriah Martinez working the camera for us. We move to the fourth quarter in our first of 2 tonight. This Newcastle Cash doubleheader. 13-12 Newcastle after 1. 21-20 Newcastle after 2. 28-24 Cash as he moved to the fourth quarter. Racers offensively just couldn't get it going at all. The only points came on a Jordan McFarland 3. That was it in that third quarter. But they're only down 4 on their home floor. Still certainly anybody's ball game as we move to the fourth in this battle between 4A teams, like we said up the top. Done some good things this year, played some good ball, but trying to piece it all together before the playoffs start 1 week from tonight. Underneath, nice move by the senior Jaden Lassen on her senior night. Did a good job just working her way close to the rim and finished it. Racers back within 2, 28-26. Young at the free throw line, who's been sensational tonight for Cash. Underneath to Muldowney. Turnaround shot won't quite get the roll. The hometown rim friendly to the hometown team. Racers have it back and tie or take the lead. Marble, ooh boy, thought about it. McFarland left side, Bradley for the lead. Back iron, no. Rebound pulled in by Lassen to the rim, and that's going to be a travel. Started to kind of go up and then changed their mind halfway through, but the unfortunate thing there is Dr. James Naismith decided you can't do that. And that's a travel. So the turnover gives it back. 28-26, the score remains, 7:05 to go. Mason handling the ball for Cash. Muldowney on the wing. Gives underneath to Young on the elbow. Young puts on the floor. Feed out Mason. Open look at a 3. The lefty, too much. Rebound pulled in by McFarland. Just had some nice boards tonight despite being one of the smallest players on the floor. McFarland in the corner. Marble. This will give him the lead. Oh, boy. Toilet bowls out. That one looked good. It just rimmed off. And the Bulldogs have it back, still clinging to a 2-point lead. They've led by as much as 6 tonight. Racers have led by, I believe, as much as 8 it was at one point. Cash up by 2, 6:24 left. On the elbow, Muldowney. Underneath to Young. Feeds off, nice find to Mason, who just missed it. Rebound, Young. And then she's hit and fouled on the floor with 6:17 to go. Boy, that was an outrageous pass. by Aaliyah Young. Mason missed it. That's kind of been an unfortunate theme tonight for the Bulldogs. Some of Young's great passes just haven't been paid off with buckets. And that was an outrageous rebound as well. Young just has made things happen all night. That's a bad pass. Wide of the mark, looking for Muldowney. Goes right to the Cash sideline. So an unforced error and a turnover. Racers have it back, still trailing by just 2. 6:10 left. Marble in the corner to Bradley. Underneath to Lassen to the rim. Can't finish it off. Rebound is loose. Ripped down by Young, and she's fouled. That's 2 quick ones on the Racers here in this fourth quarter. So far tonight, in no quarter has a team reached the bonus. But that's 2 fast ones on Newcastle here in the fourth. They only have 2 more to give with 6 minutes to play. Something to keep in mind. So Bulldogs have it back, still up by 2 on the road. Muldowney lost it, kicks it back out, open 3 for Glenn in front of the rim. No, rebound though, Copeland, second chance opportunity for the Bulldogs. Underneath Young, in the paint, turn around the block, won't go, but she's hit and fouled again. That's 3 fouls now on Newcastle in just over 2 minutes. So Aaliyah Young will go to the line and shoot 2 to try and add on to this Bulldogs lead. Second foul on Lassen, by the way. So not really any foul trouble there for her at this point. Young hits the first. One more can make it a 2-score lead. And when you're Newcastle, who's hit only 2 shots in the second half, that feels a little more daunting than maybe it normally would. Hits them both. Mentioned Newcastle, a tough loss on Tuesday to Blanchard, 37-33. This final score is headed to a similar area. But can they have the offensive firepower this time to get over the hump? Underneath, looking for Scott. It goes out of bounds, off her hands. Another turnover. And the Cash defense has just made it so tough for Newcastle to get any separation anywhere. All night it's been that way, but especially in this second half. Just 5 points in nearing 11 minutes for Newcastle offensively. Young in the paint, but it's still a 4-point game. One little burst, and you're right there. For the Racers, you're far, far from out of it. Turn-on shot from Muldowney, air ball short. And that's why the Racers' defense has been pretty much just as good for a lot of the night. Marble puts on the floor. Underneath for Lassen. Kick back out Scott. Rocket pass to Bradley. This would be really big. Clackums! Nothing but net for Leah Bradley. When in doubt, you look for number 0. A huge shot for the Racers to cut the lead down to 1 with 4:43 to go. Boy, that feels like it just breathed a whole new life into the Racers right now. Down just 1. Great feed from Young again. Muldowney puts it in. Her passing, not to be overlooked. The glass has been great, the scoring obviously, but the passing has been crisp for Young tonight. Lead goes back to 3, 32-29, 4:20 left. Marble on the wing, in the corner. Bradley hit one a moment ago. Does she got another? No. Back iron, no good. Long rebound comes out, pulled in by Copeland, and the Bulldogs will reset their offense. Fire pass underneath to Young. That's a great find. Her shot won't go, but she's hit and fouled, and that's 4 on Newcastle with 4:06 to go. Every foul the rest of the way, as long as we play tonight, outside of offensive fouls, will put the Bulldogs at the line. That feels consequential at this point. But we'll see. 4:06 left. 3-point lead. Young go to the line. Fisher giving her an extra second to kind of adjust her eye. Maybe a contact lens, something like that. As a fellow contact wearer, I empathize. Third foul on Lassen, by the way, who's been pretty darn good in the second half of this game, but kind of racking up the fouls a little bit right now as Young misses the first free throw. And they're going to go ahead and take Lassen out with the 3 fouls. Back in comes Amber Ellis to replace her. 4:06 to go. Young trying to make this once more a 2-score game for the Cash Lady Bulldogs. She can't. Missed them both. Wow. Missed opportunity there. Newcastle has it back. Still a 1-score game. Bradley. Oh, my. What a block by Young. But they're going to say she got her on the arm. That's going to be a foul. That's going to put Bradley at the line for 3. Oh, that's a huge call. Whew. Cash faithful not in love with that call. is the first foul on Cash in the quarter. First foul all night on Aaliyah Young, which is insane for a player playing down in the paint area the whole night. First free throw good for Bradley. She can tie this game right now at the line, and she's 2/3 of the way there. We are exactly halfway through the fourth. 4 minutes on the nose left to play. Got all three. Clutch free throws by the senior on her senior night. And at the halfway point of the quarter, we are still tied 32 all. This game has just been back and forth as it comes. Mason to the rim, left-hand finish. Cash back ahead by a deuce. 3:45 left. Marble almost traveled. Feeds it off to McFarland. Gives it back to her. To the top. Underneath, good ball movement to Scott. Rocket pass in the corner. Leah Bradley for another three. No, front of the rim, no good. Rebound loose, saved by Marble. Second chance opportunity for the Racers. Scott, rocket pass overhand to McFarland. Now Marble. Scott once more. Where do they want to go here? Who wants the shot? McFarland says, I do. Side of the rim, no good. Well, that was a good, clean look. Didn't hit it, and now we're going to get a bad foul on McFarland. And that's going to put Muldowney at the line. You're how many feet? I'm terrible at this. 80 feet or so from the basket. Just reaching in, trying to force a tie-up. So now Muldowney's going to shoot two with 3:11 left. Third foul of McFarland. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll go ahead and take it two. Catch your breath a little bit here. 3:11 to go. 34-32. Cash leads. Two free throws come for the Bulldogs on the other side of this break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
All right, back at the Castle. Josh Calloway on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Stick with us after the ball game. We're going to have our second half of our doubleheader coming up on the boys' side of things. The Newcastle Racers, top 20 team in 4A, playing red-hot basketball, hosting the Cash Bulldogs here tonight at the Castle. We still got some meat on the bone in our first game, as this has been as entertaining as it gets. 3:11 to play. It's a 2-point lead for the Cash Lady Bulldogs, trying to come on the road and get a big road win, with the postseason just a week away. But right now, Cash, biggest enemy is the free throw line. Is another miss here for Muldowney, trying to add on to this lead. We just haven't really been able to do it at the line. Just split the trip. So still a one-score game, but the lead goes out to 3, 35-32, as we approach the 3-minute mark to play here in Newcastle. Bradley in the corner. Oh, boy, off her hands. Out of bounds. Looked like she was kind of thinking about the catch and shoot. We got to secure the catch part of that equation first. Off the hands, out of bounds. Cash gets it back, still up by 3 with under 3 minutes to go. Long two for Muldowney. Bank shot, good. It's a Friday night in Newcastle, and apparently the bank is open. As that one goes down, Bulldogs lead it by 5. It hasn't been a two-score game in a while, but it is now with a 5-point lead, 37-32, 2:37 to go. Newcastle needs offense. Outside of Leah Bradley, nobody's really providing it. Who can help her out? McFarland, certainly a big candidate for it. Gives it up to Marble, gives it right back. Bradley in the corner, underneath to Scott. Bounce pass looking for Ellis. Great read by Mason. Jumped the passing lane, got the turnover. Bulldogs have it back, still up by 5, 2:10 left. This would be a heck of a road win if Rochelle Crowley's team can finish it. On the elbow, Muldowney. Kick out in the corner. Final 2 minutes. This is Copeland with the ball. Underneath Muldowney again to the top. And Cash smartly working the clock here. And they're in the bonus. So if Newcastle wants to foul, they can, but it's going to put Cash at the line. Long two for Young. It's good. It's her night, Aaliyah Young. It's a 7-point lead for the Bulldogs. Was that the dagger? It feels like it maybe will be. Still time. Bradley trying to answer. Air ball short. Pulled in by Mason. Oh, they're going to say a travel off the air ball, so the door's still slightly ajar here for Newcastle with 1:34 to go, down a touchdown on their home floor. But what a finish to this game for the Bulldogs. They've just done everything right, seemingly, in the second half of this game, particularly on the defensive end. It just hasn't come easy for Newcastle at any point of this. They've only scored 11 points in the second half. We have a timeout here. We'll stay through it. But Aaliyah Young, it's been her night from the very beginning of this game. The impact she was making on the glass, she was kind of the whole offense for a long while for Cash, has been tremendous really the whole game. And that shot right there, stepping back on the elbow, Racers were giving her that shot because she's been so good in the paint. She said, all right, I'll go ahead and take it. And then she knocks it down, makes the lead 7. And a tall task right now. Not over by any means, not over. But you need a lot to happen now for Newcastle. First off, you got to start hitting shots, right? I mean, that goes without saying. It's just been a bit of a bear in the second half to find offense. And right now, it's feeling that way. After tonight, Newcastle has the week off. They don't play again until the district play next Friday here at the Castle against Harding Fine Arts. As for the Bulldogs, their regular season isn't over yet. They still got a couple of games actually left from the regular season. Next up is Elk City on Tuesday night. That game's in Cash. Their playoffs begin next Saturday with Class and SAS. So Newcastle has it back. 1:34 left. Inbound to Bradley. She's hitting fouled. Not a great foul, but doesn't really hurt you that much. Only the second on the Bulldogs. Second personal as well on Mason. McFarland to get it in. Young broke that up. It's loose. Saved by Scott. Gives over to Bradley. She'll fire from 3. Front of the rim, no good. Boy, if they hit that, you felt like, okay, maybe they got something cooking here, but couldn't get to go. That's another travel. So Mason, who's been really good tonight, a couple of sloppy turnovers on travels. Really, the only way right now that Newcastle can come back is on plays like that. Quick stops, turnovers. Obviously, you got to score, but if Cavs can just work the clock on their possessions, at least get to the line, make your free throws, you're going to be in good shape. Keep turning it over. Oh, that looked like a travel. McFarland got away with it. Coach Crowley can't believe that wasn't called. Racers saved the possession, but time is coming of the essence as we hit the final minute. Snyder all the way to the rim, blocked by Young again. Sheesh. I mean, it's going to be some nightmares of Aaliyah Young in this place after this game. Bradley for 3 won't go. Rebound, though, McFarland. Racers continue to stay alive, but the points just aren't coming. Snyder at the top. Gives it up to Ellis. Ellis puts it on the floor and drives. Nice bounce pass to Scott, who can't finish it, but she's hitting foul with 46.8 seconds to go. Riley Scott will go to the line and shoot 2. Third foul on Mason, third team foul on the Bulldogs. Scott's first free throw, no good off the back iron. The boys squads for Catch and Newcastle waiting in the wings, getting ready to get that game going. That'll be about 10 minutes or so after this one officially wraps up. Split the trip at the line for Scott, makes it a 6-point game. Almost a turnover, gets ahead to Mason. Bulldogs have got numbers, but smartly they'll pull up. They say, you got to foul us, work a little extra clock. So 38.8 to go, and heading to the line here is going to be Layla Copeland. Third personal foul against Scott, and Copeland shooting 2 here to kind of ice this game. She hits really even one of them, but especially both, it feels like. But first one, no good. Still a 2-score game as of now. Second one up, and also no good off the back iron. Rebound is loose, and saved by Muldowney. A huge offensive rebound, and Young's got it, and they're going to have to foul again. So 8 more seconds go off. It's down to 30.3. And going to the line now will be for the Bulldogs. Looks like that's Izzy Glenn, number 2. A brutal offensive rebound allowed by the home team. Another missed free throw. Boy, Cash, this is the one thing, and it looks like the Bulldogs are probably going to be okay here. Still got a half minute to go, but they've left a lot of free throws on the line. This game probably could have been salted away a lot earlier. But another offensive rebound for Muldowney. Are you kidding me? Offensive rebounds off free throws are pretty seldom. And the same player goes back to back, putting the team on her back. And now Mason go to the line. That's 6 more seconds ticked off, 24.4 to go. Unbelievable. What an effort by Emma Muldowney on the glass. It's another missed free throw, but maybe a miss isn't the worst thing if you're going to keep getting rebounds and then work more clock. Unbelievable. Emma Muldowney. Second one on the way for Mason. Rolls off again. Are you kidding me? She did it again! Muldowney gets the rebound, and she's fouled. That's 3 straight. 0 for 2 trips to the line. That all ended the same way, with Emma Muldowney running down the offensive rebound. That's outrageous. And then she steps up and hits the free throw. Unbelievable. I'm a little speechless. I to get 3 in a row is just, it's hard to properly contextualize how ridiculously insane that is. And look at this. Mason gets another one off the Muldowney miss. That's 4 straight possessions of an offensive rebound off a missed free throw. I mean, it hardly ever happens at all. 4 in a row is I need somebody with some advanced metrics and stats to give me the odds on that, as Mason hits the first one. Absolutely absurd. And if you're Coach Nicole Copeland for the Racers, that's a pull your hair out type of sequence. I mean, to see that happen 4 straight times, and you're probably happy that they made it that time, as they don't get a chance to go for a 5th because they made them. Leads out to 9, and this game is pretty much all over but the crying. At this point, 3 ball doesn't go for Snyder, just 10 seconds left. Cash can probably dribble it out unless they want to foul again. They will with 6.5 to go. But this thing is curtains. A major statement road win for Cash. And this is kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of this thing. Yeah, Cash is 7-13 overall. So you may see that and say, what do we do with that moving forward? They just got a great overtime win over Ardmore, building confidence. They come on the road here. They beat a good Newcastle team now on the road. Played really well in the second half and down the stretch. This is a team that's going to be playing with a lot of confidence moving into next week and moving into the postseason. That's very dangerous as a lower-seeded team. Both free throws are good. Cash suddenly leads it by 11. The time will tick off. One more shot here at the buzzer if they can get it off. This will count, and Marble is fouled. I think they're going to count this. It was right at the buzzer. The clock reads zeros. The game's over. But they are going to let Marble shoot a couple of free throws, try to make it look a little better on paper, I suppose. Get it back down to single digits. They're trying to figure out how much time to put back on. They put 0.3 of a second on, so these free throws are just for kicks. First one no good for Marble. Like we said, Cash next up Tuesday night. They got Elk City at home. That is a regular season game. Their regular season not quite over, so the way the scheduling kind of fell. Newcastle, meanwhile, they'll take some time off, recuperate. Both free throws missed. And that's the end of the ball game. Final score, Cash 44, Newcastle 33. A wild game. I mean, it was very nip and tuck throughout. Newcastle led most of the way. Obviously, they led at the end of the first and second quarters, but in the second half, the offense just became so difficult. It was so tough for Newcastle to score. They only put up 3 points in that third quarter. That was really kind of their undoing right there. And Aaliyah Young, what can you say, was fantastic for Cash, really all game long in a lot of areas. Very, very good on the glass. She was a big part of their offense. Had some really nice passes throughout the evening as well. And in the end, Cash, just the better team tonight. And so the Bulldogs come on the road, get a big statement win. That's how you feel good moving, like I said, moving forward into the next week, into the postseason. That's how you feel good about things with a win like that. Big-time win for Cache on the road. Our night is not done. It's still very, very young, in fact. We've got a great boys game coming up for you. I'm very excited about this one. We're going to talk about it and preview it a little bit more here in just a few minutes, so take a moment, hit the bathroom, get yourself a snack, whatever it is you got to do. We'll be back in just a few minutes here. Stream's not going anywhere, and we'll set the table for this next ball game on the boys' side of things with Newcastle and Cache from the Castle on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Back at the Castle, Josh Calloway with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We are just about ready to get the second game bar doubleheader going. On the boys' side of things, Cache Bulldogs and the Newcastle Racers on a Friday night at the Castle, as they call it around here in Newcastle, Oklahoma. Had a great girls' game. Hope for more of the same on the boys' side. This game has a lot to be excited about, a lot of kind of tantalizing aspects to it with some teams that are, like we kind of said at the top, it's not like a broken record, but trying to piece together the everything and get everything moving in the right direction before the postseason starts next week. And if you're curious, most people watching that are dialed into these schools already know it, but the way the district assignments work, it's the same for girls and boys. So what I said earlier also goes to the boys. Cache will be taking on Class and SAS next Saturday at home. Newcastle doing the same with Harding Fine Arts at home next week. So looking forward to seeing those matchups. I touched on a couple times. The Racers sneakily, maybe not everybody totally dialed in or aware, one of the hottest teams and playing some of the best basketball in the state coming into tonight. Let me just read you some of the results, what the Racers have done coming into play tonight in the last couple of weeks. 61-53 over Bethany. That's a top 5 team, top 10, depending on when you look. They were number 5 when they played. They're number 7 now. Beat top 5 Bethany. They rolled Clinton 73-30. They hammered Elk City, who's a good team, 72-42. They beat Blanchard, who's a top 10 team, just the other night on Tuesday, 57-49 here at the Castle. They have a lot of other big notable wins on their resume as well. They beat Tuttle, a few weeks ago as well. For the second time, I should mention, this is a team, Newcastle, that is sneaky. It's a team that went to the state tournament last year for the first time in program history. I was on the call for that game against Weatherford last year. Was right down to the wire. Weatherford ended up pulling away a little bit toward the end. It's a program on the rise. Coach Jesse Brown has this thing moving in the right direction. A lot to be excited about and to like about what this program is doing. And even though they're missing some pieces from that team last year, certainly it's a team that's still playing really good ball and not one to be overlooked. Certainly as we move into the postseason starting next week. Just keep an eye on this Racer team would be my recommendation. I'm excited to see what they look like tonight against the Cache. Is playing some good basketball as well, right at 500 on the year, and certainly capable of playing with these Racers very tough on their home floor. So let's go and get the starting lineups here before we get to the basketball. Cache starting first as the road team here at the Castle. Number 0 is Tyreek Love. He's a senior. Number 1 is Kenyon Hayes. Number 5 is Dunn Gillespie. Number 11 is Tyler Harbin. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Bulldogs, number 14 is Camden Hance. Cache comes into play tonight, like I said, at 10-10 on the year and even 500. They're coached by Zach Ainge. And they'll be coming in here trying to make a statement on the road, just like their girls team did a moment ago. And we'll get to see them take a look at it here in just a second. Starting lineups here for the hometown Newcastle Racers. Number 2 Rex Heskew, certainly a really fun player to watch on the football field. Same goes on the hardwood. Number 4 is Zachary Cragg. Number 5, Alan Price. Number 25, Bobby Burrell, the lone senior on this Racer team. The only guy who went through senior day festivities earlier. And then number 33 is Antonio Brown. So lots of football, basketball crossover on this Racer team, certainly, as you would probably expect. Newcastle comes into play tonight, a very nice 15-7 on the year. And like I said, coached by Jesse Brown, who's had this thing just moving in the right direction for years. First appearance in the state tournament last year in program history. And certainly have a really good team again this year that I'm not ruling against them for anything. They've got talent, they've got athleticism, they got speed, and they're going to be fun to watch do their thing tonight. We're glad you could be with us on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Josh Calloway with you. Uriah Martinez working the camera. Friday night basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Fired up for this one. Newcastle and Cache on a Friday night at the Castle. Cache in the road red unis with the white Cache across the front, white numbers. Newcastle in the home whites with the black trim, blue cursive Newcastle on the chest, and blue numbers. Doing the tip here is going to be Zachary Cragg for Newcastle and Dunn Gillespie for Cache. Opening tip won by the Bulldogs. Going right to left from our vantage point, up above the court here at the Castle. Glad to be with us on a Friday night. Hoping for a fun one here. The Racers and the Bulldogs on this senior night in Newcastle. First possession for the Cache Bulldogs is held here by 14. That's Hance. Around the horn left side to Harbin. Bounce pass to the top, Hayes. And he gives up to Love, who gets called for a travel. Got going a little bit quick. And a turnover on the first possession of the night for the Cache Bulldogs. So here comes Newcastle offensively. Like we said, a relatively young team. Just the one senior in Bobby Burrell. A lot of these guys are juniors. Will be back on the team next year. A lot of guys play football as well, like I said. If you're with us during the football season on OSN, you recognize a lot of these names. Here's Cragg with it. He'll feed it over to the right side to Price. Alan Price back to Cragg. A left-hand pass to Bobby Burrell. Down the lane here, gets tied up. As Love was on him a little close. They're going to call a foul here, looks like on Cache. I'm not really sure on who. Looks like they're going to get Hance for the whistle. I'm not totally sure what he did there. But nevertheless, Candon Hance gets dinged for the first foul of the game. Here's Antonio Brown with it for the Racers. Left-hand pass out to Burrell for 3. Side of the rim, no good. Rebound, though, pulled in by Heskew. Buys the Racers a second chance. Heskew down the baseline. Pass out in the corner. Price for 3. Side of the rim, no good. Burrell another rebound. So a third chance now on this possession for the hometown Newcastle Racers. Just getting going. 6:45 to play in the first. If you just tuned in, you didn't miss anything. Just getting started. Pass underneath here. I think that was a pass. Not really sure what the plan was there. It goes through the baseline. Nobody able to get to it. And a turnover. Bulldogs get the basketball back. Still looking for our first points here in the very early going. Left side with it. That was Harbin. Gives it up. Now Hance has it. To the top with Hayes. 4 seniors in the lineup for the Bulldogs. The only non-senior is Hance, who's a junior. So this is an old Cache team. That can pay dividends for you in the postseason. We'll see how it does next week. Jump step there, kick out. Thought about the 3. Putting on the floor is Love. Now he'll have to give it up. Hayes will fire away from 3. Side of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Burrell. And he gets tied up with Hance. If that's a foul, that's going to be 2. And it is. That's 2 early ones on Hance. And as you would expect, Zach Ainge going to his bench quickly. So the junior gets called for 2 quick whistles. And he's going to have to be replaced with another junior in the 6-foot even Brody Smith coming into the game, number 33. It looks like there's a discrepancy with his uniform. Looks like the official's making him ditch the headband, which he doesn't look thrilled about. Yeah, official had a problem with the headband. I'm not sure on that one. So he had to ditch it, toss it to the bench. We're back to it. Just over 2 minutes in. It's looking for our first points, Newcastle and Cache in this 4A collision. Bounce pass to Burrell on the right wing, trying to shake Love. He'll go to the elbow. Right-hand floater won't go. I spoke too soon. He got the friendly roll. Didn't think that's going to have quite enough mustard, but it just found a way to eke its way over and the foul. And so Burrell will go to the line looking for an old-fashioned three-point play here. First foul called on Love. That's 3 already on the Bulldogs. They have just one more to give the whole rest of the way in this first quarter. Not great. Trying to pull a road upset. Burrell completes the three-point play, hits the free throw, makes it 3-0 Racers. Cash has it going back to the direction. Right side with it, this is Gillespie to the top. Smith just into the game. Left side, Love. Love bounce pass to the top to Hayes. Guarded by Antonio Brown. Picks up his dribble without much of a plan, able to get it off to Love. Love bounce pass to the top, Brody Smith. Right side, Hayes. Hayes guarded by Brown to the top, Gillespie. Now Harbin with it. Surveying, right pass. Oh, Heskew was reading that like he does passes on the football field. A very good defensive back. Couldn't quite close the gap. Cash still with it, but can't really figure out where they want to go. Coach Jesse Brown loving it on the Newcastle bench as this Cash offense is not finding a lot of space to work with. And Love now is trapped on the sideline, just gets rid of it to Harbin. He lost his dribble, turnover. Boy, that Racer defense, that possession was excellent. And after all that time, Cash doesn't even get a shot. Racers have it back up by 3. All the way to the rim. Cragg and a nice finish. Zachary Cragg keeping the ball up high. And a nice finish at the glass. Makes it 5-0 Racers. 4:34 to go in the first. Good start for the hometown team. Open 3 for Gillespie. Side of the rim, no good. Long rebound comes out. Pulled in by Love. Tried to feed it to Smith off his foot. He goes on the floor to save a nice pass to Gillespie, who was blocked by Burrell, but they're going to whistle the Racers senior for the foul. And Cash will get a chance to get on the scoreboard for the first time at the line. There's a couple free throws on the way here for Dunn Gillespie. First foul on Burrell, first foul on Newcastle. First free throw on the way for the senior Dunn Gillespie. Got it. So Cash onto the scoreboard for the first time here on the road. Second one on the way is also up and good, so makes it back down to one-score game again. Cash again going to the bench as Gillespie will come out after those free throws. In for the first time comes 5'8" junior Jeremiah Booth. Heskew brings it up for Newcastle. Working on Booth. Gives it over to Antonio Brown. He'll fire from 3. Comes up short. Good contest there by Booth just into the game. Now he whistles. And a foul on Newcastle. I think they might get Price here for being a little over-aggressive on the boards. Actually, I didn't see a foul. Maybe they just said his foot was out of bounds. No fouls put on the board, so that's what I'm going to go with. Turnover, nevertheless. Cash gets it back down by just 3. Booth shaking his defender, and Heskew feeds it off to Hayes at the free throw line. In the corner, Harbin for 3. Back rim, no good. Cragg pulls in the board. Newcastle has it back, still leading by 3. Bounce pass to Heskew. Heskew jump across the lane. In the corner, looking for Price, but it was deflected. Harbin ended up with it. Gets another turnover. Cash defense making things tough on Newcastle here early on. And the Bulldogs have it back, still down by 3. Haven't hit a shot yet. Only 2 points came at the line. 3:35 to go in the first. Here's Booth nearing the corner. Burrell guarding him. Gives it over to Harbin. Left side, Hayes. Waiting to check in for Newcastle is a number 3, Chris Brinkley. He'll come in at the next dead ball, which is now. Whistle and a foul on the Racers here is going to go on Cragg, his first. And like I said, number 3, Chris Brinkley set to come into the game for the first time. There's like another discrepancy with Brody Smith's uniform, and again, he's got a very puzzled look on his face. I think now they're making him ditch the undershirt. All right, so now he's running back to the locker room to ditch his undershirt. The officiating crew just not a fan of Brody Smith's attire tonight, apparently. Had to ditch his headband already. I'm pretty sure he was running back to take off his undershirt, which other players have an undershirt on. Now he's back. He's still wearing it, so I guess that wasn't it. I'm not sure what he went and changed, to be quite honest with you. Meanwhile, Love missed the first free throw, second one on the way. And he missed them both. So you're struggling to get shots to fall. Missing free throws, not what the doctor ordered. Racers have it back, still up by 3. There's Brinkley with it just into the game. Bounce pass to Burrell, gives it right back to him. He'll fire. Back rim, no. High rebound comes down, is pulled in by Hayes. And the Bulldogs have it back, still down by just 3, though they haven't had a shot yet. If you're Coach Ainge, you're not thrilled with that, but you probably feel pleasant. You're fortunate to still only be down to 1 score. It's another turnover, bad pass wide of the mark. Smith back in, Gillespie back out. Not the prettiest start to this game on the offensive side, really, for either team. We're still in the early going here. 2:50 to go in the first. 5-2 Newcastle. Brinkley trying to shake his defender. A little assist from Brown on the screen. Burrell in the corner to Cragg. Probably would have shot that if he didn't bobble it. Feeds over to Price. Price to the top, Brinkley. Brinkley rocket pass to Burrell in the corner. He'll go down the baseline all the way to the rim. Left-hand layup is good. Nice move and finish there by Bobby Burrell. Who, like we said, the lone senior on this senior night. Not his final game here. They'll be here for districts next week, but still means a little something. You do the little senior ceremony. A lot of family here, things like that. So he got a big ovation from the Newcastle faithful, a favorite here. Another one of these guys who also plays football. Harbin might have gone to travel. Love feeds over to Hayes, who was just chilling. Missed a shot, but wouldn't have counted anyway, as they're going to get a charge called on Tyreek Love. That's the second on Love and the 4th team foul. So Newcastle in the bonus the rest of the way in this quarter. Cashwell's got 4. Or no, they do have 5 players. My mistake. Hayes and Love both came out. Booth, Gillespie came in. Booth stays in. Also in for Cash is number 3, which is a name I was fearful of having to say. Jacob Wuma-Vova. I'm hoping I'm even close on that. He's just a freshman for the Bulldogs. Number 3 just into the game. Final 2 minutes of the quarter. 7-2. That's a travel. Got Heskew moving the feet. Turn it over. Another sub here. Both teams playing lots of players. Heskew comes out. In for the Racers comes number 13, which is Alex Schumard. So Cash has it back, down 7-2, and that's just a hand check foul. Bad one on Brinkley. Be the 3rd team foul. A bit of a ticky-tack. Not a whole lot there, but he gave him a chance to call it, and he did. First foul on Brinkley, 3rd team foul, so still 1 to give for Newcastle here in this opening quarter. Booth trying to shake his man. In the corner, here's Brody Smith. He'll fire from 3. Clackums. Brody Smith, I got my uniform the way I want it, and I'm hitting shots. Makes it 7-5, 1:34 to go. That's a big shot. First made field goal of the game for Cash. Now they force a turnover. Again, you're over 6 minutes in before you hit your first shot, and you're only down 2, and now you have the ball again. That's not bad, all things considered. That's a credit to what Cash is doing on the defensive end, making it tough for Newcastle to find space and get a shot up. So Cash has it back. They can take the lead here. This is Harbin with it. He'll put it on the floor and drive at his man. Shot wildly put up, didn't go. Brody Smith fighting for the board. It's loose. Ends up in the hands of Antonio Brown. He'll do the long pass ahead up to Cragg. Cragg gives it back to him. Brown, he'll drive, puts it up. Right-hand floater, tried to bank it, no good. Rebound loose and ends up being saved by the Bulldogs. So Cash gets it back. 60 seconds to play in the quarter, down by 2. In the corner to Booth. Double teamed, gives it up. Nice swing pass out to Gillespie to save the possession. Brody Smith once more. Now Harbin underneath to Gillespie. Had it poke loose on the floor. Diving after it is Harbin and Burrell. And now we're going to get a tie-up here. Both sides tried to sneak a timeout in there. It wasn't awarded. And the arrow looks like it favors No, it's going to favor Newcastle. My mistake. They already had flipped it. So Newcastle gets it off the tie-up. 42 seconds to play in the first. 7-5 Newcastle in this kind of slobber knocker first quarter. Not a whole lot of pretty offense, but teams are getting after it, making it tough on each other. Racers up by 2, and they have the ball. Here's Brinkley. Some shifty handles. Gives it up to Cragg. Cragg across the lane at the elbow. He'll go ahead and fire. Got it. Nice shot there by Zachary Cragg hitting that one. Makes it a 2-score lead once again at 9-5. 20 seconds to play in the quarter. Crossing half court is Hayes. Just in the game for Newcastle, number 10, that was Jalon Frazier guarding him. Both teams have played lots of guys in this opening quarter. Also in for Newcastle, number 11, John Trey Sloan. So both teams have gone deep into their bench in this first quarter. Smith for 3, back iron, no. Rebound comes out to Gillespie. This will count, and it doesn't go. Good awareness of the clock by Gillespie to just turn around and fire, but obviously a really tough shot, and he couldn't get it to go. So after one, competitive game, not the prettiest, but competitive. Newcastle leads it 9-5 after one. Take a timeout. Second quarter on the way after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Yeah, you got it. Let's go. Travis! What business do you want to start?
I want to start a car mechanic shop.
Let's say we go to Scissor Tape.
Ready to go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's go.
You got it.
I think she was from
1,
Rose State.
2, 3.
Woohoo!
Congratulations, Rose State college graduates.
Back here at the Castle, Josh Calloway with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Uriah Martinez running the camera for us tonight. After one, Newcastle leads it 9-5. Still in the very, very early going of this one. Teams kind of just trying to feel each other out a little bit. Hadn't been a lot of offensive flow. Cash only has 1 field goal so far. Newcastle just a couple more, obviously, but defense is making it tough and kind of interesting start. I'm not really totally sure what to make of it as we get ready for the second quarter. Back in for Cash is Camden Hance. He's doing the inbound right there, number 14. Picked up those 2 quick fouls, sat the rest of the quarter, but Coach Ainge trusting him to put him back in here to start the second. And he's got the ball here. Guarded by Heskew. Feeds over to Hayes. Hayes with a little pump fake, left-hand scoop layup attempt. Oh, boy, that was pretty, but couldn't pay it off with the bucket. Missed it, rolled off. And the Racers get it back up by 4. Cragg has it. Over to Heskew at the top, right side to Price back in the game. Now Heskew once more. Cragg on the wing. He'll fire from 3. Comes up short. Rebound. Oh, nice job by Hayes just sticking the paw out there and pulling it in. Cash still down 4. Where did they go for offense? Only 1 3, or 1 bucket, I should say. It was a 3, and it was from a bench player in Brody Smith. None of the starters have hit a shot yet. 7:12 left to play in the half. Here is Hance with it. Gives over to Hayes on the wing. To the top with Gillespie. Left side to Love. Love guarded by Burrell. He'll take it at him. Love also back in the game with 2 fouls. Gives up to Hance for 3. Clackums. Camden Hance with a pretty looking shot. Hits the 3. And the deficit trimmed down to 1 just like that. 9-8, 6:48 to play until halftime. Rocket pass by Brown underneath the Heskew, but he couldn't finish it. Rebound comes pinballing out to Hayes. Cash can retake the lead here. Hayes with it. Well, that was a really nice pass by Brown. He put some smoke on that thing underneath the Heskew, but he just couldn't quite finish it off. And now the Bulldogs have a chance to get the lead. Hayes able to save a little bit of an errant pass there. Behind the back dribble, trying to get around Price. Hayes all the way to the rim. Right-hand shot. Gets the roll. Tough finish by Kenyon Hayes. And there you go. A 5-0 run quickly to start this second quarter. And Cash is in the lead by 1, 10-9. 6:06 to play until halftime. Heskew has it. Goes to Burrell. Burrell down the lane. Right-hand shot is good. And the foul. Bobby Burrell had an old-fashioned three-point play earlier in this game. He's got a chance to do it again as he makes the shot with the contact and the whistle. And that's going to be on Hance. So the gamble for Coach Zach Ainge does not pay off as he puts Hance back in the game with 2 fouls. He quickly picks up his 3rd. He's certainly going to have to sit the rest of this half and maybe even a little bit into the third quarter. We'll see when he decides to go back to him, but a big call there. As Burrell hits the free throw, he's got his second three-point play of the night, and it's 12-10. So Hance comes in, hits that big 3, which is probably why Ainge took the gamble, but the foul, not really worked. It's not a great trade-off, the 3 for the foul. So he's got 3, he's going to have to sit. Back in replace him comes Brody Smith, who has a 3 of his own in this game. He's got the ball here. Trap, fires over to Love at the top, gives it back to him. He'll go ahead and fire. Really high shot. Missed it long. Love able to save it, though. Scoop, putback attempt, no. But another offensive rebound for Cash off the deflection. They get another crack at this. Smith down the baseline. He's trapped. I'm not sure what the call was there. It's a whistle against Cash. Wasn't a foul. Maybe a 3-second violation? I'm honestly not sure. 5-second violation? I'm not sure what the call was there, but it's a turnover for Cash. Nevertheless, Newcastle gets it back. This is where when I work with Jordan, he can kind of bail me out. He usually has a sense for those kinds of things. So I'm working solo. A little tougher. Tie up here as Cragg and Booth go after the basketball. Good job by the junior Booth on the much taller Cragg, just kind of ripping that away. The arrow does favor Newcastle, but flip it back your way for the Bulldogs for later use. Inbound to Burrell, who puts it in. Bobby Burrell, a nice first half. He's got 8 points, and Newcastle's leads back out to 2 scores, 14-10. So the 5-0 run by Cash is met with a 5-0 run by Newcastle, and it's back to a 4-point lead. Love in the corner to Booth. 5 minutes to play until halftime. Hayes on the wing, guarded by Brown. Right side to Love. Love a little shake and bake. Underneath to Smith, working on Cragg. Out to Hayes. Hayes feeds it over to Harbin. He'll fire from 3. Back of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Cragg. Good job going up and getting that thing at the apex. Racers have it back. Price pump fake to 3. Harbin got way in the air. Back out to Cragg for 3. Clackums. That was a gorgeous little give-and-go action with Cragg and Price. It's an 8-0 run for the Racers with 4:34 to play until halftime. And Cash wants to talk things over with a timeout here. It's a full timeout. We'll go ahead and take it with them. Racers by a touchdown on an 8-0 run. How does Cash respond? We'll find out after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's no secret that life is busy and you have a million things on your to-do list. Here at Community Bank of Oklahoma, we've made banking simple again. We can help you get to the important things in life, like the big game tonight.
We do all the heavy lifting, so you don't have to.
Race towards us at Community Bank of Oklahoma, because we wouldn't be a community without you.
Back at the Castle, Josh Calloway on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Glad you could spend your Friday night with us. A little high school hoops. Postseason around the corner. Great time of year. We've got a great game here. Newcastle leads at 17-10. 8-0 run, though, right now by the Racers. They have swung momentum to their side after Cash came out flying in this second quarter. But that's a great pass, but Harbin just didn't finish it, and Coach Ainge had to just scratch his head and sit down. That was perfectly executed the whole way, but it doesn't matter if you don't hit the shot at the end of it. Now we have whistles and a foul here. It's going to be actually another tie-up, and the arrow this time should favor Cash, and it does. 4:07 to play until halftime. Back in for the Racers comes number 3. That's Brinkley replacing Price. Cash in a dry spell offensively here. They were down 9-5 to open this quarter, had those 5 quick points to take the lead, and since then just haven't been able to really get it going. Meanwhile, Newcastle enjoying an 8-0 burst of their own. They lead it by 7 right now on their home floor. Here's Love on the wing, guarded by Burrell. Gives it over to Booth on the elbow. He'll go down to the block. Turnaround shot's good. Boy, that's a tough shot by Jeremiah Booth with the left at the block. Not the biggest guy. Didn't have a ton of separation either. Just kind of hit that with a hand in his face, and Cash really needed it. Meanwhile, Burrell misses a jumper. Love gets the rebound, and Cash has got it back. Down by 5 and got the break. Love all the way to the rim. Layup won't go. A little too strong off the glass there. Empty possession. Brown will fire from 3. Comes up short. When I've seen Newcastle in the past, when I've gotten to do their basketball here on OSN, Antonio Brown not unwilling to fire away from deep. And there you saw it right there. And that one came up short. Bulldogs have it back, down by 5. 3:05 to go in the quarter. Love for 3. Back iron, no, but it looked like it was right on line. But just didn't hit it, and at least to an easy, fast break. Dunk! All right, John Trey Sloan. The home faithful loves it. Nothing gets people going in a high school game like a dunk. You don't get it all the time, especially at the 4A level. Don't get like the big 7-footers that you sometimes see at the 6A schools. Sloan got out there, dunked that one home. Meanwhile, Harbin for 3 at the other side. So forget your dunk. This one's worth more. And it cuts the lead back down to 4. That feels big because the offense had been clunky for Cash. That dunk for Newcastle felt like they were really settling in. Momentum on their side, big crowd with them. Big shot there, cuts it down to 4. Made up for that missed layup earlier. Meanwhile, there's Sloan just shrugging off his defender, and John Trey Sloan giving Jesse Brown some nice minutes off the bench right now. That the dunk and then that tough finish. And the lead goes back to 6, 21-15 as we near the 2-minute mark to play until halftime. Here's Hayes for 3. Front of the rim, no good. Left it short. Rebound pulled in by Brown. Fighting his way up the floor with Booth, and he gave him an elbow. Gave him the chicken wing. That call's going to go on Cash. Wow. The Cash faithful here in front of me, and certainly Coach Ainge, where that play happened right in front of, thought for sure they were going to bust Antonio Brown for giving Booth the chicken wing. Kind of got him up high, but the foul actually goes on Booth. So second foul on Cash. Brown will fire from way deep. Side of the rim, no good. Like I said, willing to shoot. That ball is knocked loose out of bounds and will go over to the Bulldogs. So Racers can't cash in the, say, fortunate call on that defensive foul charge against Booth. Bulldogs have it back down by 6. Love left side to Harbin. Guarded by Burrell. To the top, Gillespie. Right side, Booth. To the top, Love. Gillespie once more. Oh, a miscommunication here. He went to turn it to Harbin, and Harbin started to cut toward the basket. Just missed him. And that's a turnover. One guy zigged, the other guy zagged. Coach Ainge left scratching his head again. 1:20 to play until halftime. 6-point lead. Here's Brinkley, bounce pass to Heskew. To the top, Brown. He'll pull up from just inside the three-point line. Side of the rim, no good. Rebound skied for him, pulled in by Booth. And the Bulldogs start the break. Pass ahead to Love. Love goes down the lane. Scoop pass is up and good. That's a great feed by Love to the cutting Gillespie, who finished it off. That was pretty. And the lead back down to 4. So Cash hasn't been perfect, but they've done a good job just kind of hanging in. Newcastle went on that run, went up by 7, but they've done a good job settling things back down. Or within 4 now with 45 seconds to play until the end of the half. Heskew, figuring out what he wants to do, goes to Burrell just inside the elbow there, and he hits it. Been a nice first half for Bobby Burrell. He's now got 10 points, and the Newcastle leads back to 6. Final 30 seconds of the half. Newcastle ahead 23-17. Booth with it on the wing. Guarded by Heskew. Love now with it. Pulls up from the elbow right back. No good. Rebound skied for him. Pulled in by Brinkley. And we have whistles and a foul here on Cash. With 12 seconds to go in the half. Second personal going to be charged here on Booth. Only the third team foul, so not a factor on that regard. Newcastle hasn't committed a foul yet in this quarter, by the way. We're 12 seconds away. They might go the whole second quarter without committing a foul. Very rare. So Brown will bring it up. He's got 10 seconds. If there's anybody equipped to go ahead and fire one from deep at the end of the half, it would be him. He wants it. Going to his right, get some separation. He's going to take it to the rim. Right-hand floater won't go, but he's hit and fouled with 9/10 of a second to play in the quarter, in the half. Those are the fouls that just kill you if you're Cash. And so Booth will go to the line and shoot a pair here with less than a second to go on the quarter clock. And he's got the first one. So I gave Cash the credit for settling things down, for going down by 7. They're staring down the barrel of being down 8 here at the end of the half, unless they can go on a miracle in this last under a second here. Harbin, I think this would actually count, but it isn't going to go. That full court heave. That's the end of the first half. Kind of a weird half in a lot of ways because, it felt like Cash did a lot of good things there and got it back to within 4, but some sloppy just kind of mistakes putting Newcastle at the line there at the end of the half. And the Racers were able to balloon this thing back out to 8 at the end of the second quarter. Should be an entertaining finish, though. Certainly not a whole lot of separation between these teams. Newcastle looking to keep the hot streak going. We talked about they're playing as good a basketball as anybody right now in 4A. This is their last regular season game before the playoffs, and they're going to try and finish things off on their home floor to ride a winning streak into the postseason starting next Friday with the district round of the playoffs. All right, we're going to take a timeout here. We'll step aside for, a few minutes or so. We'll rejoin you near the end of halftime. We'll set the stage, get you ready for the second half, and get what should be an entertaining finish here between the Newcastle Racers and the Cash Bulldogs on some Friday night basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. Halftime now. We'll be back for the second half here shortly on OSN.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
All right, back here in Newcastle, Josh Calloway with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Uriah Martinez on the camera for us. We get ready to start this second half of our Friday night production of the Newcastle Racers and the Cash Bulldogs here on OSN. 4A postseason starts 1 week from tonight. Teams trying to make their final adjustments, and this Racers have been as hot as anyone in really the state of Oklahoma over the last few weeks, but especially in 4A. We read them off earlier, coming in, riding a 4-game winning streak. Some big-time wins mixed in there over teams that are up in the top 10 of the rankings. Teams playing really good ball right now. And they're riding an 8-point lead as we start this second half, trying to keep the good vibes going on their home floor. So here we go. Newcastle has the ball to start the third frame. This is Rex Heskew with it. Racers are sporting their biggest lead of the night right here at 8 points. Close that half on a little 4-0 run. Shot doesn't go for Antonio Brown. Kind of landed funny, but he's all right getting back up the floor. So a big stop for Cash. And where do they go for more offense? Obviously, another 17-point half. Probably not going to get the job done. So how do the Bulldogs generate more at this end? That'll be the question here as we move into the third quarter. Harbin down the lane, feeds it out to Love for three. Clackums. That's a way to start. A great pass by Harbin, and Tyreek Love hits the open three ball. And just like that, Cash within 5. That's a heck of a way to start. You get a quick stop and then hit a three off a nice feed. Spin move by Heskew. That was pretty, but didn't finish off. Almost got his own miss, and then he did. Over to Burrell. Antonio Brown trying to respond. Does. Clackums. A rainbow three for Antonio Brown. He's had a couple of decent looks, hadn't hit yet. Did there. And so that Cash three, which breathed a little bit of life into their end of things, kind of extinguished very quickly as Brown responds. Lead goes right back out to 8, 28-20. 6:40 to go in the third. Harbin loses his dribble. Cragg scoops it up for the Racers. Oh, nice crossover move on Love. Goes all the way to the rim, finishes, and the foul. Zachary Cragg. All right, sir. Went coast to coast there and finished it off with contact. All right, then. That's one way to do it. That three that cut it to 5 feels like a million years ago already, as the lead is out to double figures at 10, make it 11 as Cragg completes a three-point play. And Newcastle is sporting their biggest lead of the night right now, 31-20, with 6:28 to go in the third. Back-to-back big possessions offensively for the Racers. The Antonio Brown three and that Cragg three-point play. Wow. In a lower-scoring game, 6 quick points like that feels like 20 in a normal game. Hans down the lane. He'll take some contact, and, couldn't quite finish it off. So Hayes will go back to the free throw line. First foul of the half on the Racers. First personal on Rex Heskew. And Kenyon Hayes will go to the line and shoot a pair here. And you got to capitalize at the line right now if you're Cash. First one, it does just that. Get it back down to single figures here with the next one. Meanwhile, Gillespie checks out for the Bulldogs. Back in comes Brody Smith, who's given Cash some really good minutes off the bench tonight. So Hayes hits them both, leads back into single figures at 9, 31-22, 6:06 to go in the third. Heskew at the top of the key, guarded by Hayes, who just made those free throws. Left side to Cragg. Checks with his coach, Jesse Brown, who's just over his left shoulder. Brown now has it on the wing. In the corner to Price. He'll go ahead and fire. Won't get it off the front of the rim, and Hayes just leaked out. Going to get an easy fast break layup here. I don't know how that happened. Caught the defense napping a little bit. So a personal 4-0 run from Hayes, and just like that, back down to 7. So this game's gotten a little bit kind of up and down to start this third quarter. Cash just kind of hanging around, still down just 7. Here's Brown driving the lane, right-hand floater. Front of the rim, no good. Rebound, though, fought, pulled down by Cragg, but he's blocked by Love. Burrell able to save it. He'll take it to the rim. Left-hand scoop finish, no. It was halfway down and then rimmed out. And here come the Bulldogs again. Hayes pulls up from the elbow. No good. Decent look, but Brown did a good job hustling back, contested it, and Hayes missed. Brown, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and fire from 3, but Love blocks it. Saved by Hayes. A little toe tap there on the baseline to keep that in play. So the Cash defensive intensity picking up, and it's helping them out in a major way right now. They're on a little 4-0 run and still trying to ride it further. 4:45 to go in the third. 7-point game. Love on the wing, guarded by Brown. To the top. This is Hance for 3. Clackums! Camden Hance. And just when it felt like Newcastle had maybe kind of run away, up by 11, the Bulldogs go on a 7-0 run and are within 4. And Camden Hance, when he's been out there, has been pretty effective. That's his second 3. But the problem is he's been in major foul trouble pretty much his entire game. Hasn't played a lot. Hard fall here for Love as he goes up high. And Antonio Brown pump faked him. Always a scary play when a three-point shooter pump fakes on a guy closing out hard. Luckily, it looks like Love's okay. That was his third foul, though. So keep that in mind. He's staying in the game for now. With the Bulldogs down just 4, riding a 7-0 run as we near the midway point of the third. And Love breaks up that pass. Already Love everywhere in these last couple possessions. Inbound goes to Heskew at the top of the key. Trying to lose his defender. Gives it over left side to Price. Now Heskew has it once more. Cragg on the wing. Throw to go to Burrell. Bad pass. Deflected and stolen. Brody Smith's now got it. Bulldogs can run. In the corner, Hayes, who he thought about the 3-ball, instead he'll put on the floor, set something up. Harbin, he will fire. Oh, boy, that looked right on line, but a little too much, but it comes all the way back out to him. Then a bad pass. Burrell read it like a book. Perfect steal. Fast break, bucket, and 1. Bobby Burrell already with 2 old-fashioned three-point plays tonight. He can now make it 3 if he can hit this next free throw. What a sequence that was, from the stop, Cash down 4 and running to a couple of decent looks, missed that 3, and now you're looking at going back down 7. It can happen so quick and easily. Burrell missed the free throw this time, though, so he can't quite complete the three-point play for the 3rd time tonight. And the lead will have to hold at 6 for now. 3.5 to go in the third. 6-point game, Racers lead at 33-27. Hance gets it down to Love. In the corner, open look for Hayes from 3. Side of the rim, no good. Rebound, Burrell, start the break. Out here in the fast break, this is Brinkley all the way to the rim, then he finishes. So that 4-point lead has quickly doubled to 8. 35-27. Going real fast here. The pace has picked up significantly in this game. Love to the rim. That's a nice finish. Moving through the trees down there. The lead goes back to 6, but before I can even look back up from my sheet here, Brinkley puts it in again, and the lead goes back to 8 once more at 37-29. The pace has gotten just wild here over the last couple of minutes, up and down. And with 2:53 to go in the third, it's now back out to an 8-point lead. We have a timeout on the floor. We'll take it 2, catch our breath for a second. 2:53 to go in the third. Newcastle leads at 37-29 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
All right, back to it on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Josh Calloway with you on a Friday night. This one's getting very interesting. The pace has really picked up in this third quarter. The scoring has picked up as we're 12 each in this third quarter. The game was just 25-17 a half. We got 12 aside in this third quarter. We still have a little less than 3 minutes to play in it. I like it. Entertaining basketball being played. Booth is hit and fouled here for Cash. Be the second foul on Newcastle, second personal as well charged to Zachary Cragg. Meanwhile, Price will come back out for Newcastle. Back in to replace him comes Alex Schumar, number 13. 2:44 to go in the third, 8-point lead for the Racers on their home floor, trying to ride this win streak into the postseason and playing some really good basketball the last couple of weeks, trying to keep the good vibes going into the postseason next week. District play awaiting them 1 week from tonight on this floor. Love has it on the wing for the Bulldogs. In the corner, Hance already got 2 tonight. Oh boy, halfway down and out, but the rebound Love, and he sticks it back. Hance was very close to hitting another one, but a great rebound and stick back from Tyreek Love, who was putting together a heck of a third quarter. And it's a 6-point game again, 37-31, 2:06 to go in the third. Brown with it, left side to Brinkley. Rocket pass in the corner. Just in the game and getting rejected from behind was Schumar, but they're going to call a foul. If this is on Love, that's a big call, and it is. Wow, that's the 4th foul on Tyreek Love. And that's just a gamble trying to block a shot from behind. It's tempting. It's tough when that ball's right there. Looks like it's there for the taking. You got to find a way to kind of lay off when you got 3 fouls already. It's only the third quarter. Coach Ainge, no choice but to take him out. Love putting together a great quarter, but he's going to have to sit down. Brody Smith will replace him. Meanwhile, Brinkley hit the first free throw. Second one on the way. And he's got it. So the lead goes back out to 8, 39-31. We'll see how long Love stays on the bench with the 4 fouls. Meanwhile, Hance still sitting on his 3, and he's had a nice impact when he's been out there. But like we said, the foul troubles really hurt him. But he's been able to stay out there for the lion's share of this third quarter. Bad pass here by Hayes. Read perfectly by Antonio Brown. Start the break. Antonio Brown all the way to the rim. Through some contact. Couldn't finish. Cash fans really hoping for a travel there. Didn't get it. Probably a decent argument. Empty possession nevertheless. And Hayes, meanwhile, goes right down the lane. Little kiss. Puts it in. Back down to 6. Cash just hanging around. Can't quite put him away, the Racers. Brown down the baseline. He's hit and fouled. And the Cash faithful getting very frustrated, specifically with Antonio Brown going to the rim, feeling like he's getting some extra shuffles in. It's borderline. It's definitely been close. But this time he's fouled and will go to the line. The foul is on Smith. That's his first. 15 foul on Cash, by the way. So Newcastle's in the bonus the rest of the way in this quarter. And meanwhile, Brown misses the first free throw, which gets a nice cheer from the Cash fans here, of which there are a pretty good amount that made the trip, by the way. Cash, if you're not up in your Oklahoma geography, not exactly close to here. It's a bit of a jaunt. Split the trip, but a lot of fans are here. Good Newcastle turnout as well. Pretty much every time I do hoops out here, it's always a great crowd. Newcastle faithful, very supportive of their teams. And the case again tonight on this senior night. It's been great energy in the building. 7-point lead, open 3 for Hance. Front of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in. Cragg had it, but Burrell kind of took it from him. I think you have to give Burrell the credit for the rebound. Meanwhile, he'll shoot from the free throw line. Won't go. Rebound loose. Pulled in by Hance. Final minute of the third. It's a 7-point game. Hance has it for the Bulldogs. He'll go down the lane. Pulls it from the elbow. Shot. Rolls home. Friendly roll there for Hance. He'll take it. And the lead's down to 5. 40-35. 40 seconds to go in the quarter. We have a travel. Schumar moved the feet before that pass to Cragg and a turnover. And you're feeling the Cash faithful, which is on the side closer to us here, where we're set up at the Castle, really getting into this game now and feeling like the momentum is swinging on their side, and they have a little something cooking here. It's going to be a fun fourth quarter. Hopefully you tune in for it. 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Booth at the free throw line. Over to Hayes. Guarded by Schumard. Left-hand pass to Gillespie. Right side, Booth. To the top, Hance. 20 seconds. Hance sizing up his defender, Cragg. If you're Cash, you probably want to make sure to take the final shot here. And actually, Coach Ainge wants to talk about it. He's going to take a timeout and set something up with 13.2 on the third quarter clock. So, if you're Cash, or if you're Newcastle, I should say, you're going to take a lead into the fourth quarter. But it feels like the momentum right now is with the Bulldogs. This 8-point lead has been trimmed down to 5, and the Bulldogs have possession here to try and inch closer. We are certainly set up for an interesting finish to this one at the Castle. Again, appreciate everyone tuning in on a Friday night. High school basketball season winding down, which we don't love, but we do like the fact that the postseason is on the horizon. Some really intense, impact, important games are coming up in the road to the Big House, the road to the LNC, and some gold balls getting handed out in about a month or so from now. Going to be a fun ride to that point. And we're going to get a foul on Brody Smith on the inbound. He's got a very expressive face. He did it a couple times earlier when he had the uniform violations where he was kind of looking like, what'd I do? And he did it there right there. He looked like Kevin McAllister or something right there. So the foul goes on Smith. That's his second as a bad turnover, because you're thinking if you're Cash, we're taking at least a 5-point deficit into the fourth quarter now. It could be more. Cragg going to go all the way to the rim. Contact, and that's a charge. Well done there by the Bulldogs, I should say. Just clogging up that lane. Cragg didn't have a lot of room, and now that's 3 fouls on Cragg. So keep that in mind as you move to the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, still 8 seconds to play with here if you're Cash. You got time. Hayes is going to bring it up. He'll cross half court. Hayes going to go all the way to the rim. Blocked by Cragg. That was a rejection. Bad pass, Hance. I think this will count if it goes. It's short. That would have been, the roof would have blown off the top of this place if Hance had hit that. But that, nevertheless, will be the end of the quarter. We got a fun finish set up here. 5-point game as we go to the fourth. Don't go anywhere. We got a good one cooking on the other side of this break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Let's go. Miranda.
What business do you want to start?
I want to start a car mechanic shop.
Let's say we go to Scissor Tape.
Ready to go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's go.
You got it.
I think she was from
One,
Rose State.
2, 3.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations, Rose State college graduates.
Back here at the Castle, we are all set for the fourth quarter. Josh Calloway on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Hanging out with you on a Friday night. Uriah Martinez on the camera. We've got a 5-point game as we head to the fourth quarter. It was 9-5 Newcastle after 1. 25-17 Racers at the half. And now 40-35 in favor of the black and blue as we head to the fourth. Racers have led pretty much this whole game, but Bulldogs have always kind of hung around. They've trailed by as much as 11, but they've kept in it. And here they are trying to make it a one-score game here. And Harbin just lost that ball out of bounds. I was wondering if they were calling a block charge, and they're saying, nope, no, that was clean. He just ball slipped out right out of the baseline. So a bad possession to start this fourth quarter. And the Racers have it back up by 5, just starting the fourth. Antonio Brown has it. Heels on the Newcastle end here at the Castle. Left side, this is Price, gives it back to him. And this is where you start to see teams really value the possessions in the fourth quarter. Take their time, make sure they get a good look, especially when your team, like Newcastle is right now, up by 5. Work that clock, no reason not to, and a good look and finish by Cragg. A little gentle push shot in the lane there. Put that one home. Makes it a 7-point game, 42-35, 7:10 to play. Here's Gillespie to the top, Harbin. Right side, Hayes, he'll fire away from three. Clackums. Kenyon Hayes from three. And the lead back down to 4. It's kind of been the whole night like this. Newcastle feels like they're maybe getting a little bit of control. Big shot for the Bulldogs. Back to within 4. But just hanging in is not going to get the job done. At the end of the day, you got to find a way to get over that hump, which the Bulldogs had a little bit of a hard time doing. They're hanging in, but can they get all the way back? Still down 4, 6:37 left. Left side, Burrell, he'll fire away from, this is a long 2. Rebound is pinballing around, ends up in the hands of Harbin. Bulldogs haven't been within one score in quite a while. They can do it here. In the corner, Gillespie for 3. Oh, boy, that was halfway down. That looked good out of the hand. I was gearing up. Didn't hit it. Burrell, meanwhile, the other way, can't finish. Did a nice move to get there, but couldn't cap it off. Fast break for the Bulldogs. Harbin down the lane, lost it, but he's hit and fouled, and that's going to be on Cragg, and that's going to be his 4th. So a key piece of this Racer team, Zachary Cragg, who's been really good tonight, has now got 4 fouls. We'll see how Coach Brown wants to play that moving forward. Meanwhile, a couple of big free throws here for Harbin. If he can hit even one of them, it'll make it a 1-score game. Got the first. And we do, in fact, have a 1-score game with 6:08 to go. Meanwhile, there's Tyreek Love back in with his 4 fouls. We wondered how long would Coach Ainge keep Love on the bench with his foul trouble. The answer is with 6:08 left, he's making the move. Replaces Gillespie. Meanwhile, Heskew comes out for Newcastle. Back in comes John Trey Sloan, who hasn't had a ton of minutes in this game, but they've been kind of impactful every time he's been in there. Harbin can't make the second, so it stays at a 3-point game. Meanwhile, Brown for 3 can't hit. And the Bulldogs have it back and can tie this game with a deep ball. Harbin, bounce pass in the corner to Hayes, who's been great in the second half. In the corner to Hance, thought about it for a moment. Instead, he puts it on the floor. Brody Smith now, back to Hance. 5:45 left. Hance to the rim. Scoop with the right. Banks it in. It's a 1-point game. 42-41. 5:37 left. 6-0 run by the Bulldogs. And it's just felt like Newcastle's been trying to hang on for dear life all night. They've led like the whole way pretty much like we said, but that's hanging in the balance now with 5:20 to go. Price steps his right for 3. Back iron, no. Rebound is loose. Hayes had a look at it. He gets plowed over. It's a foul on the Racers. The second on Newcastle in the quarter. Second personal charged on Burrell. And the Bulldogs have it back and can take the lead. They have not led since it was, I think, 10-9, I'm pretty sure. That's a long time ago. 5 minutes to play, 1-point game. Hance at the top, he'll go down the lane, bounce pass to Smith, who lays it in. Beautiful feed by Hance, who has stayed out of foul trouble in this second half. He got that 3rd foul really early. He's been playing with it and avoided picking up that 4th this entire second half, and he's been tremendous. And now here is a foul on Cash. Be the first on the Bulldogs in the quarter as they are sporting the first lead since it was 10-9 back on the early part of the second quarter. Foul charged on Harbin. That's his first. Still 4:37 left. We still got some twists and turns left of this one. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got a fun finish. Cragg in the lane to the rim. Oh, boy, how'd he miss that? Got his own miss. Put back attempt. Good. And the foul. Sticking with it, Zachary Cragg, after he missed just kind of a bunny there at the rim. Kept battling, got his own miss, put it home with the foul. The foul charged to Smith, but he can't complete the 3-point play. Misses the free throw. Cash gets it back, still down 1, 4:22 to go. Harbin with it on the right wing, guarded by Antonio Brown. To the top, this is Love. Left side, Hayes. Now Hance, who's been so good in the second half. Tyreek Love with it once more. Spin move on Cragg. That's a travel. Yep. Kind of did a little spin while also moving forward. Just looked weird. and he gets dinged for the travel. Smith out, back in comes Gillespie for the Bulldogs. As we approach the midway point of the fourth quarter, the home squad, Newcastle Racers, leading by 1. Burrell on the wing, underneath to Sloan, to the rim. Can't finish, but he's hit and fouled. Like we said, John Trey Sloan hasn't played a ton of minutes in this game, but he's kind of found a way to be impactful every time he's been in there, and that foul is on Hance. That's his 4th. I'd imagine at this point in the game, 3:58 left, you're probably just going to keep him in if you're Coach Ainge, but one away from losing a guy who's been so good for you in the second half. Meanwhile, Sloan misses the first. Camden Hance, if you tuned in late, missed a lot of this first half with foul trouble. Got his second foul early, got his third foul early. He's played pretty much the entire second half and has been great, but he just picked up his 4th there. Keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Sloan hits the second. It's a 2-point lead with 3:50 to go. 45-43 Racers. Hance on the wing, guarded by Burrell. Gives it up to Hayes, who goes over to Love, who's also playing with 4 fouls. Here's Harbin, who thought about it. Said he'll survey the floor and give it up to Hayes. Hayes guarded by Antonio Brown. 3.5 to go. Regular season finale for the Racers. Kick out, Harbin. Open look at a 3. Too much. Airballed it long. It'll go out of bounds. Smart play by Antonio Brown. Savvy play. You felt like for a moment he might try to save that. No reason to. Let it go. You don't want to save it on your own hoop. Just asking for trouble. Good play. So, Racers have it back, up by 2, 3:15 left. And what's been a fun night of basketball, we had a great girls game to get things started. Cash coming in here and getting a big road win. Boys team trying to do the same. But with 3 minutes to go, they're down by a bucket. Burrell finds Sloan in the corner. What's the call? It's like Coach Jesse Brown with a smart timeout there. That possession didn't have a great look of it. So Coach Brown takes a timeout. 2:57 left. Just a 30-second here, so we'll stick with it through the break. Want to remind you, again, you see on the screen, on the scorebug there, oksportsnet.com, the Oklahoma Sports Network Facebook page, the OK Sportsnet Twitter account, the great places you can go to keep up with us and what we have coming up for you throughout the rest of the postseason, as we're just getting to the good stuff. We love the basketball regular season. We're bringing you lots of hoops. Our Game of the Week features, obviously, Jordan Ray and I have done lots of games. He did a game tonight, Midwest City, and Lawton MacArthur over there at the Sutton Fieldhouse in Midwest City. We love the regular season, but the playoffs is where it gets a lot of fun, and we hope you join along for the ride. We're going to have lots of postseason hoops, trying to get as many OSN school games on our air as we can. A couple of OSN schools here with Newcastle and Cache excited to see what they can do in the postseason. Going to be fun. So, Racers have it up by 2 as we are under 3 minutes to play. Brown, guarded by Harbin. He's going to drive right on him. He'll pull up right. Hit floater is blocked by Gillespie. It's loose. Saved by Harbin, but it goes to Cragg. Second chance opportunity for Newcastle. Zips it down to Burrell, who puts it in. That was a frantic possession that ended up with a great feed from Cragg down to Burrell, who put it home. 4-point lead is a 2-score game once again with 2:25 to go. Harbin underneath to Love, and he's hitting foul. Bad foul there by John Trey Sloan. That'll be the 3rd team foul on Newcastle. So now both teams have 3 fouls, meaning they have 1 more to give before putting their opponent into the bonus the rest of the way as long as we play deep into the night. 2:22 to go. Bounce pass to Love, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bulldogs. Hayes looking to do the inbound. Feet planted on the RN Racers on the baseline. And what's the call here? Looks like Ainge this time for the Bulldogs. Didn't want to get that 5-second violation. He slips a timeout in with 2:21 to go. Another 30 seconds, so we'll stay here through this one as well. 2:21 left. It's a 4-point lead. Little game reset here. Both teams with 3 fouls. So that means 1 more to give on both sides. The possession arrow right now favors the home team with the Newcastle Racers. Keep that in mind. Josh Calloway with you on a Friday night. Uriah Martinez on the camera. Great night of basketball across the state. Lots of fun games as the regular season winds down, and we've had as good as any right here with the Racers and the Bulldogs. It's been a fun ball game. We're hoping for a fun finish with 2:21 to go. Inbound goes to Hance, who's got those 4 fouls. Screen set by Hayes. Gives it back to Hayes. He's guarded by Price. Jab step once, puts it on the floor. Kick out in the corner. Open 3 for Harbin. Side of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Burrell. A big empty possession there for Cash. Newcastle has it back. Final 2 minutes to play here at the Castle, and we have a whistle. What's the call here? Looks like it's going to be a foul on Cash. Yeah, it's a foul on Cash. Foul on Harbin they're going to get. And that's the 4th on the Bulldogs. So Newcastle in the bonus the rest of the way. John Trey Sloan comes out. Rex Heskew back in. He's got it here. Gives it to Brown and gives it right back. If you're Newcastle, you want to work that clock, milk things down, get yourself a good look. Aggressive hands on defense as Hayes just punched that loose. And the ball went on the floor. Coach Brown tried to sneak a timeout in. It wasn't granted. Instead, they go to the arrow, which, like I said before, favors Newcastle. So they'll keep it. But now the arrow, obviously, flips over to the visiting team. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Cragg bounce pass to Heskew. 1:40 to go at the home of the Racers. Trying to sew up another win and ride this winning streak all the way into the playoffs. Brown left wing. Double team. Pass deflected. Goes right back to him. Hayes almost had a big turnover. Heskew thought about forcing it to Price. Instead, he just smartly keeps on dribbling. Shake away defenders. Only 1:20 left. Newcastle taking advantage. As long as there's no high school shot clock, this is what you're going to get at the end of games. Cragg, he'll shoot it. He's got it. And that's exactly what you want to do in terms of the quality of possession. You worked about 30 seconds off. You got a good look. You hit it. Can't ask for any more if you're Coach Jesse Brown. Pass deflected out of bounds. Will stay down here. So only 1:05 left. It's a 6-point game. Not impossible if you're Cash. But you got to play the rest of this game pretty close to perfectly to make this happen. See what happens here. Starts now. Harbin at the top of the key. Final minute from Newcastle. Love for 3. Need it. Halfway down and out. Harbin rebound is stripped by Heskew. What's the call here? They blew it dead right as Heskew was saving that. 53 seconds. Is it a foul? If it's a foul, this would mean free throws for Newcastle because they're in the bonus. So this is a big call. It's a foul on Harbin. They're going to say he pushed Heskew. Got his hands into him and pushed him. So that's the 3rd foul on Harbin, which means Heskew's going to shoot 2 free throws. And if he can hit, obviously one of them makes it a 3-point game, but he hits them both. You really put Cash behind the 8 ball, down by an ocho, with not even a minute to go. 53.4 on the clock. Big free throws here for Rex Heskew. And he's got the first. A lot of times in these close competitive games, it just boils down to who can make the plays in the final couple of minutes. And tonight, that's clearly been Newcastle. Missed the second one, but it is still a 3-score game at 50-43. Cash has got to go quick. Here's Hayes to his right, feeds over to Love. Love puts on the floor, goes all the way to the rim, scoop layup. Oh, that was really nice. Scoop layup attempt there by Love. That was a tough shot that he got to fall. Makes it a 5-point game with 40.2 seconds on the clock. We have a timeout taken. This is a full timeout. So we're going to take you 2. Get your mind right. Catch your breath. 40 seconds to play. It's a 5-point game here in Newcastle. All right, back in Newcastle, Josh Calloway with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We got 40 seconds to play. Newcastle Racers lead the Cash Bulldogs 50-45. Racers have the basketball after a very tough layup scooped in by Tyreek Love. Got a foul, obviously, but maybe you can try to force a turnover first. Oh, boy, that ball's on the floor. What's the call? Here we got a whistle. This might be an inadvertent whistle. I'm not really sure. Nobody is claiming to have called a timeout. There wasn't a foul called. And that's what they're calling it. They're saying it's an inadvertent whistle. Wow. 34.6 seconds. That was blown dead improperly. The official immediately said, hand up. I blew the whistle, but there wasn't really a reason to. Sometimes that happens. Anticipation of something sometimes. There was no timeout, no foul, so Cash keeps it. Oh, and it goes off the fingertips of Booth. A great play by Bobby Burrell. Sticking the hand in, deflected that, and then it went off the fingertips of Booth. That's a huge turnover forced by Newcastle when Cash had a chance to cut it to one score. Brown ahead to Cragg. Bad pass. Oh, what a catch. Cragg, oh, into the rim, and he lays it in. And that feels like probably the final dagger. As a tough bucket there goes. This shot doesn't go for Harbin. Poke attempt, no, but he's hit and fouled. But with just 17.9 seconds to go, it feels like the Newcastle Racers are going to survive a scare here from a very game Cash Bulldogs team. And, we come into this game tonight. Cash is a 500 squad. We talk about how hot Newcastle's been, how good they've been playing. They're a top 20 team. They have wins over multiple top 10, top 15, top 5 teams this season, playing really good basketball, one of the more underrated teams in 4A. And Cash has given them everything they wanted tonight. But it feels like in the end here, it's going to be too much, although I'm not sure what the call is here. So we have Harbin shooting free throws all alone. That would certainly imply that it's going to be Cash's ball after the free throws no matter what. So hey, hold the phone just yet. As the first one's good, second one on the way for Tyler Harbin. Gets them both. They called a technical foul. I'm not sure if who was on, but they just announced it was a technical foul charged against the Racers. Oh, no, it was a charge against Cash, excuse me. Okay, well, my mistake. So I think the Cash faithful on this near side are just now realizing that, too, if that's what was ruled. So he shot the free throws all alone because the technical was against Cash. That's why he shot them all alone, because it didn't matter. They're going to get free throws the other end either way. So Brown hits them both, completely wipes away the two free throws that Harbin just hit. And now with 17.9, this should be Racers' ball, which doesn't make the game over, but it's pretty darn close. Hayes comes out, meanwhile, for the Bulldogs. Inbound goes to Brown. Clock will start running. 15 seconds to trying to run away. Use as much clock as he can. He does. And he's fouled with 14.4. I feel like more time should have went off there than just 3 seconds. Fouls Harbin. That's his fourth. And now Brown steps to the line with the Racers leading by 7. And this game probably finito already, but a couple more free throws makes that even more so. This is the first. Barring something crazy here, Newcastle will go to 16-7 to close the regular season, and they'll ride that into the playoffs starting next Friday. As the second free throw is good, makes it an 8-point game. Booth tried to get underneath, pass is stolen by Heskew. Only 8 seconds left. Cragg, he's hit and fouled by Love. And with 6 seconds to go, Cragg goes through 2 more. Just go ahead and ice this away a little bit further. Love, meanwhile, fouls out on that one right there. So the Racers will close the regular season 16-7. One heck of a year. This team, this program that made the state tournament last year for the first time in program history and didn't just get there and just be happy to get there. They gave Weatherford all they wanted last year. I was on the call for that game on the Oklahoma Sports Network. They played really well, but came up short lost, some big pieces from that team last year. But they come right back and put together a 16-7 regular season. And I'm not going to tell you that they're going to get back to the big house, but they're going to be a tough out. I'll say that. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs, which start next week with district play. It'll be Harding Fine Arts coming in here next Friday night for district play. That 3-ball is good at the buzzer for Jacob Wumavova. And that ends it. Your final score, 56-50. Heck of an effort by Cache. They played really well in a lot of ways tonight, but they lose this one. They slip back below 500 at 10-11. Strangely, they still have two games left in their regular season, which is a little – it's funny this way it worked out that way. Obviously, Newcastle, this was their 23rd game. Cache, only their 21st. They still have 2 more games, including Elk City next for them on Tuesday night back in Cache. They will get back to it in district play next in the playoffs, I should say, in the district round next Saturday against Classen SAS. We thank you so much for watching. It's been a great season on Oklahoma Sports Network. We're nowhere near done with the postseason coming up. I'm pretty sure this is my last regular season broadcast. Next time I am with you on OSN, it'll be the playoffs, and I'm very excited to do that again. Last year was a great ride through the postseason. Last year, excited for more of the same coming up this year. So stick with us throughout the rest of the regular season. Still got a few more Middale broadcasts, I think, on the docket. And then the postseason's coming up right around the corner. We thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Ryan Martinez. Did a great job working the camera for us tonight, as he did all football season for us on OSN as well. Newcastle wins it 56-50. They go to 16-7 to close out the regular season. They head to district play next Friday, riding a 5-game winning streak and a whole heap of momentum. Keep an eye on the black and blue in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. That's it for us. We'll see you next time. Josh Calloway signing off from the Castle, where Newcastle wins it 56-50 over Cache to close the regular season at 16-7. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching high school basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.